Hey, what's up, everyone? Yeah, I am terrified. I am terrified of UMs. What happened to AG? I don't know. Did something happen to AG? Um, hey, what's up, everyone? Why is it not 5 p.m.? Huh. What's that thing that boomers say? It's 5 p.m. somewhere. How's everyone doing? Whoa. Is that it's AG, the very person we were just asking about. Hey, what's up? How's it going?
What's up, Ian? How are you?
Doing well, doing well. Um,
I
yeah,
thought you were done with the topic. I didn't think you were going to do it again.
It's I have to bring myself to it every once in a while. I think it's like a good every once in a while topic, but man, like these people are just like profoundly stupid. It's like not even like I don't know, man. It's like disheartening.
Yeah, you really have to have the patience, I feel, of a saint to deal with that level of stupidity.
Yeah. I don't know. Can you imagine like a topic where literally the best move you could possibly make is defending the existence of like a guy who sacrificed himself to himself to save us from the curse set by himself?
Yeah,
Like,
but God can't die, even though he died in a fleshly sense. But that doesn't really make sense. And then you can,
yeah,
and you
yeah,
can't
no,
feel any
for
pain,
real.
but he didn't feel any pain, but the sacrifice is supposed to mean something, even though, again, what you just said.
Yeah. Yeah,
It's
I
just
mean,
so
you know,
sick.
he's like totally unchanging except for, you know, when he took on flesh and then changed like every single moment of every single day, you know, for 30 years. He changed into being like a changing being and then changed back to being like an unchanging being or something like that. You know, it's I don't know. It's either that or then people will just try to like derail like the trans topic. Like the gay topic goes so bad for them that they can't even like begin to defend it.
True. It's just
Yeah.
a segue to
Yeah.
transphobia.
Yeah, for real. Um, while we're waiting for someone to join, there's you know, as my chat is well aware of, one thing that I've been looking for the last like year or so, probably even more than a year at this point, is like the holy grail argument that would establish that God actually can't cause anything or like take any actions. So okay, I think I might have it. That's what I was working on yesterday. I think the argument that could establish this is like twofold. Like, okay, I think the basic argument is this: um, God cannot change. If God takes intentional actions, then God changes. Uh, Therefore, God cannot take intentional actions. So the motivation for the first one, there's like a couple of ways to motivate this one, but the one that I'm looking at right now has three premises. The first premise is that if something depends, or wait, so if X figures into the essence of Y, then Y depends on X. Um, if God can change, then God has parts or has essential and non essential parts and is identical to none of them individually. Um, God's essential parts figure into his essence. From these three, you can derive that if God changes, then God depends on his essential parts. But, you know, God being ase, God does not depend on anything for his existence. Therefore, God can't change. That's the justification for the first one, and then I'm still working on the justification for the second one. Although I don't know, I'm like satisfied with this because I've been looking for something to establish immutability for quite some time. Okay, wait, we have a guest in the guest request box. Hey, if you're in that guest request box, make sure that you're 18 or older. Make sure that. Oh, sorry, Hunter. I don't want you to critique this. I want to debate the topic. Yeah, only request to join if you want to debate the topic. If you want to, I'm so dumb. I don't know why I forgot to do the @ everyone in my Discord. Okay. Okay. We fixed it. Well, let's get them on in here. If you want to debate the topic, you got to be 18 or older, and you must think that there's something wrong with being gay. If you don't want to do that, then don't request to join. Hunter, if you want to critique it, you should come back tomorrow when I run it. With that, we'll go to the very first guest. Hey, how's it going?
Hey, how are you?
Yeah, doing well. How old are you?
44.
Yep. Do you think there's something wrong with being gay?
Yeah, I think there's something wrong with being gay.
Yeah, what's wrong with that?
It's wrong. It's not natural.
Okay. So you're saying if something isn't natural, then it's wrong?
If it's evil, it's not natural, then it's wrong.
Okay, if something is evil, then it's not natural, and that makes it wrong?
That's right.
Okay. I mean, that's like a little bit confusing because that seems to be circular. You're saying something is wrong if it's not natural, and the thing that makes something not natural is like the fact that it's wrong. So you're kind of just in a roundabout way saying that it's wrong because it's wrong. But I guess how would you cash out natural? Like, how do I, for anything, how would I determine if that thing is natural or unnatural?
Well, I mean, okay, so if you had a boy grew up on an island with nothing but girls, just him and all girls, he wouldn't grow up attracted to men. Being gay is usually, for most people I've talked to, it's usually spread through other males who did something to sexualize them as a youth, to molest them. I was molested, and I fought with gay feelings for a long time.
What the fuck?
So-
Okay. That's just not
real.
true.
It's just reality. Well, it is real. It is real.
Whoa,
I talk to a lot of gay
yeah.
men. I used to be on Grindr all the time. Most of you guys have been molested. I was molested.
Wait, I'm so sorry. Let's just calm down there. First of all, I don't even know if you're trolling. Like, you're either trolling or this is like maybe the biggest
it's
self-report
real.
of all time.
It
But
is
second of all, we have like
self-report. It
really,
is
whoa, let's just
self-report.
calm down there. No need to get upset. We have good reason.
Fuck you fucking faggot child molester.
Whoa,
Fuck
calm
you,
down there,
fucking
pedophile.
child
Just chill the
molesters.
fuck out.
I
I
know
don't know
what
why
you
you're
are, 'cause
projecting
I
that
was
onto me.
molested
Whoa,
by
you're
you
like
fucker.
fucking
And I
exploding
fought
right
with
now,
it
dude.
myself,
Calm
you
down, right?
fucking
You're screaming into your
bastard.
microphone,
You
and
think I
meanwhile
don't know what
I'm
you
bipping, I'm
are?
bopping, I'm
You
whipping,
think
I'm
I don't
bopping,
know you
I'm
child molesters?
shipping and
You're coming
chopping
out
on your
on the
bitch
news
ass. You know,
every
I'm
day,
headbutting
you
your teeth
fuckers.
down your throat,
We know
headbutting you
you
in the
fucking
nose. Your
molest
nose,
children.
there's like blood
That's
running
how
down
you
your nose, and
spread
it's not
this
the only
sick
thing. That's why I'm also
perversion.
shooting with my
That's how
rhetorical
you
cum
spread
shots.
it, you
You
fucking
know, you're
child
getting your fucking
molesting
back
son of a
blown out.
bitch.
Whoa, calm
You
the
think
fuck
you can
down.
go
There's
longer
really no
than I
reason for you to
can?
get
I
upset.
was molested
Holy
by you
fucking shit,
fucking
dude.
sons of
Okay,
bitch.
that's enough from you. Well, make sure you're double tapping on that screen sharing with your friends doing that good stuff. God damn. What a fucking guy. Yeah, we got the live restriction. I've never seen somebody explode like that before.
It's because he said he was on Grindr. He self-reported.
Yeah.
Too quickly.
True. I don't know if that one's clippable or for Molly, I don't know if that one's clippable, but maybe. Maybe like a short one. Damn. All right. Hey, if you're in that guest request box, make sure that you're 18 or older. Make sure that you do think that there's something wrong with being gay. If you don't do that, don't request to join. And with that, let's go to the very next guest. Hey, how's it going?
Hello,
Yeah, how old are you?
I'm 21.
And what religion? Or wait, sorry. First, what year were you born?
2000?
No. I was like, Hey, how's it going?
Yo, what's up?
Yeah. How old are you?
18, bro.
Yeah. Do you think there's
2007.
sure? Do you think there's something wrong with being gay?
Yes, Clearly, bro.
Okay. What's wrong with being gay?
God made female and male, bro.
Okay.
We was
So
not
what?
made to like the other
What's the evidence of
God,
that?
bro.
That God
Okay,
made female and male.
look, bro. I think I ain't gonna lie. Also, I think you got pressed because, like, let's be honest.
Whoa, wait, before you pivot away, do you want to just defend your indefensible claim? I'm just interested, what's the evidence that God created female and male before we like pivot away?
Oh, Adam and Eve is in the Bible, bro.
Yeah, those are just the names of two people, and then okay, why would I think that the Bible is true? Like,
Dog,
what's the evidence
look,
for the Bible?
let's be for real, bro. You was probably touched when you
Okay,
was
yeah,
little,
this guy's
bro.
you're
and
like
that
desperate
just
to pivot
made
away
you
from
gay.
this. Whoa, sorry. Is there like a reason why you're like terrified to defend your own arguments? It's like
What
every
are
time you make an
no,
argument, you need
I
to
could
sprint
defend
away
my
from your own
arguments.
arguments
It
as
was
if you're
just like,
terrified
let's
of them.
speak
Like you
facts,
need
bro.
to
You was
pivot to like
touched as a
some sort of
kid,
meta.
bro.
Also, that's just not
You was
true.
touched, bro. That's why you got
Whoa, I
pressed
wasn't
when the
like
like
touched.
old guy
I
came
literally have a
in here, bro.
girlfriend. I'm not even gay,
You're
frankly.
gay.
I'm not.
No, you look
No,
gay,
you
bro.
know,
You
I'm
like
not
a
gay, but I
Jew.
understand the way that you
You
might
like
come
a
away with the
gay Jew. You
impression
have a Jew
that I'm gay, the way
nose.
that I'm blowing your
You
fucking
have
back out
Jew
rhetorically speaking,
ears.
the way that you're getting completely slammed right now, that all you can do is like
Nigga, you're
slowly
not
short
slamming
circuit.
anything, bro.
Yo, you
You
literally
just
can't
talking
engage with the
fast. You
topic.
like
You
a
genuinely
sloth,
had
my
to
nigga.
pivot away from the topic. You got spawn killed on the debate, and then you had to
look
pivot
like a
immediately to the meta.
subhuman, bro. Look at your
Whoa,
nose,
I just
bro.
don't know if I'd be making
Yo,
claims
this
like
nigga
that
is
if
a
I were you.
subhuman.
Damn.
Yo, look at
Wait,
this
is
nigga
that you on your
nose.
profile or one sec? Let's pull
No,
up this
bro, it's
guy.
a rapper, bro.
Okay.
Yo, this nigga ugly as shit.
Yeah.
Hey, everybody, look at this nigga nose, bro.
Damn,
He's
this
a
guy
gay
got beaten the
Jew.
fuck down. Can you
They're
imagine
just
losing a debate
pressed.
so hard that all you can
It's
do is
no
try to
debate,
grandstand to an
bro.
audience
I'm
that
not
hates
gonna
you?
lie. It's
Yeah,
no debate
there's
here.
never a debate after you lose the debate.
Bro, all I
You know,
said was you
everyone
was
wants to come up
groomed
and
as a
debate.
kid, my nigga,
Whoa,
and
whoa, and
you're
I'm telling you
gay
that's
now.
not
There's
true.
definitely
Whoa,
something
I'm not
wrong
even
with
gay.
being
I have a
homo.
girlfriend. You clearly don't because you're
You're
like
gay,
emotionally
buddy.
unstable.
You're gay. You're
No, I'm
fag.
not.
And the niggas that's
Oops,
defending you in the
sorry. No,
comments
I'm
is
not.
also gay. You're
That's
gay.
that's
You're
just
gay
not
Jew,
true.
okay? All right. Okay.
All right. Are you
All right.
done? Are you done grandstanding? Do you want to go back to the topic?
I was just wondering.
Do you,
We was at
do
the
you want me
topic,
to
bro.
maybe
You
I can
got
like jingle my
pressed.
keys for you? Maybe that'll
Bro,
keep
you
your
got
attention.
pressed, bro.
You know,
All I
clearly
said
you're
was,
not very good at paying
look,
much
it's
attention.
something
Didn't pay
wrong
much
with
attention to your
liking
classes, which
men
is why
and
you're
you're a
incapable of
man,
actually like
bro.
focusing
Like,
on a
that's just
point.
weird.
So what I'm
Why
going to
are
do, I'm going to jingle my
okay? Two
keys
people
to try
can't
to
talk
help
at
you
the same
focus so
time,
that
bro.
you can
Two
actually
people can't
engage
talk
with
at
the
the same
point
time, my
and
nigga.
stop running the fuck away like a
Yeah, see,
coward, right?
yo,
The
this
fact that
nigga
you
is
keep on
mad, bro.
talking
He's
is
a
the
mad
rhetorical
gay
equivalent
Jew.
of blowing your own fucking brains out
Yo,
live on stream
stop
in front of everyone. It's just
spam
quite
talking,
desperate. Like,
bro. Like,
frankly, dude,
what is
just calm
this
the fuck
TikTok
down and
bot
engage with the
talking about,
topic.
bro?
I don't know why you keep
Why
trying
are
to
you
pivot
getting
away. I'm
pressed?
simply
Because
not
I
going to let you
said it is.
pivot.
Yo, you're
What's your
mentally
evidence that the
ill if
Bible
you
is
think
true?
that is
Wait,
something
sorry, you're like mentally not
cool
all
about
there. You
dating
sound like you
another
have like
guy if
40
you're a
fucking
guy.
IQ points. The fact that you can't engage with the
Talking about
topic
40
even a little
IQ
bit.
points. Nigga,
Yeah,
it don't take high
genuinely, like you
IQ
can't engage
to
with the topic
literally
at all,
think
not
it's
even a
not
little bit.
normal
You know,
to
I bet if I
think
pulled up
like
the IQ test right
you should
now,
be with a
you would
fucking
get,
other
you know,
guy, bro.
the IQ test itself would
You
be too
just stuttered, my
embarrassed to
nigga.
show you
You
its score.
supposed to.
Like the
Hey, you
internet
just
IQ
stuttered.
test would show you
You
the
just stuttered.
IQ,
But
and
you
it
just
would like
stuttered
fold
though.
your paper up. But I'm sure
You
you're
just stuttered.
probably
You
used
supposed
to
to be a
the site of
professional
having your
debater.
paper folded
Hey,
up
bro, I
when
think
you
you
get it
pressed
back.
because you like cock, bro.
Oh,
I
sorry.
think you pressed because you like
You
cock,
probably like
bro.
cock too, the way that you keep on taking my
You're
rhetorical
gay.
back
Oh, he
shots.
just
You know, you're
admitted to
getting
liking
your
cock.
fucking back
He just
rhetorically
admitted to
blown
liking
out.
cock. You're a bot.
No, I
You're
didn't.
talking
That literally
fast and
didn't
you're
happen. I
pressed.
know I've
What
slammed
are
you
you
so hard
pressed
that you're
about?
concussed that you can't even
You're
track the
talking
things
about
that I'm saying.
IQ when it comes to being
But
homo,
the fact of the
nigga.
matter is
It
that you
don't
keep
take
getting your
high
fucking back blown
IQ
out. I
to
just don't
be
think I'd be
homo.
making comments like
Why
that
are
after
we
a debate loss
fantasizing
like
about
this one.
blowing out backs?
Okay, wait. Do you want
That's
to?
kind of
Whoa, sorry.
sexual
Whoa,
harassment.
sorry. Whoa, sorry.
Sexual
Whoa,
harassment,
sorry.
bro.
Whoa, sorry. Whoa, sorry. Do you want
Sexual
to engage with the
harassment,
topic, or
bro.
do you want to run the fuck away?
Who are running, bro? All I said it was
Who
something
are
wrong
running?
with dating. Yo, it's literally something
Holy
wrong
shit.
with dating a
Yeah,
man
but
and
what's
you're a man.
yeah, so let me track the conversation for you because it's clear that you
You
can't
have,
track the
and then your
conversation.
nose,
Whoa,
like
calm down
you
there, mouth
got this
breather.
long
Dial it
ass
down,
nose,
dipshit.
bro. And
Whoa,
look at your
dial it down,
haircut, bro.
dipshit. Calm the fuck
Yo,
down. There's no need to get
yo,
upset.
why is niggas
Yo,
adding me in
hey,
yo, why
whoa,
you got gay people
I'm
in the
sorry.
comments
Do you
getting
wanna
mad at
whoa,
me,
whoa,
bro?
whoa. I just have a quick
Like you
question. Do
tell
you
your
think God
comment
is all
section,
beautiful?
leave.
Yes or no?
You just call gay
Whoa,
people
yes or
beautiful,
no?
bro. You're gay. You're
Whoa,
secretly
yes or
homo,
no?
and
do
you
you
just
think that God
yo, you
is
just literally lied and say you got a girlfriend, bro. Then you just admitted to being gay.
I
You
didn't.
just said I
You're
get my back
confused.
blown out too. You're gay. You're weird, bro.
Whoa,
I'm
sorry.
not
If
gonna
I'm gay,
lie.
then you're gay. The way that you're getting
And you
rhetorical
just get
back shots.
impressed because I said it's something wrong with
Whoa,
being
wait,
gay.
sorry. Do you
Look,
think that God's all
God
beautiful is
made
the
male and
question?
female,
He's like
Adam and
short
Eve,
circuiting.
bro.
This guy's
It
like
is
genuinely
something
incapable of
mentally
even
ill
engaging
wrong
with the
with being
topic.
a
That's why he keeps
homo.
on fucking
Get
talking,
that
but he
through
talks
your
so slow
head,
because
bro.
his brain
You
doesn't
could
work
get
that quickly,
any
which is
normal
why he
person
keeps
in
getting
here, bro, and
rhetorically
they can
blown the
debate
fuck
you
out
with
on
that,
every
bro.
single point.
Yo,
You know,
we
the reason
can't
why
talk
every
at the
single person in
same
the
time,
chat's
my
making
nigga.
fun of you and nobody respects you is because you got instantly
Oh
spawn killed
God,
on the
only
topic.
gay
All you can do
niggas
is
in the
short circuit
comments
back through
talking to
the
me,
same
bro.
insults and points that you've already done. You're
Only
uncreative, which
gay
is why
niggas in the
everyone's going to
comments
continue to
get
make
mad
fun
at
of
me,
you.
dog.
Like, seriously, you got blown the fuck out and every single person in the comments
This
is
nigga
making
just said
fun of
I
you.
hate whites. Like, what are you talking about? Your comment
What?
section is straight
Are you
idiots,
stupid?
nigga.
I would
I'm
read the
reading your
comments too
comment
if I lost the
section, bro.
debate this
Hey,
bad.
look, you're yapping, my nigga. You're mad
Yeah,
and pressed. You're a gay
he's so
Jew.
pressed. You can
You're a
tell that the
gay
comments
Jew,
are getting
nigga.
to him.
You're a gay Jew.
I'm
And you're
literally
getting mad,
Christian.
and
I
your
was like born
comments also
Christian
getting
previously.
mad. Only gay people is getting mad at me, by the way, in your comments. I'm looking at
Proof?
the profile.
Yeah, wait,
You're
what's the proof of
Christian, but
that?
God's coming back for Jewish people, you weirdo. Can you
Yo,
substantiate a
why
single
are we
claim?
talking about God if you're
You
friends
brought
with
it
a
up,
person
You're
stupid
the
that's
one
fuck.
that said
gay?
Adam and
They
Eve,
don't
bro.
believe in
Okay, yeah,
God.
this guy is just like genuinely not even like trying to engage. Okay. All right, I've had enough fun like rhetorically beating the fuck out of this guy. Beating the fuck out of him, bleeding the fuck out of him. Call me a lamb the way I'm bleeding the fuck out of him. All right, make sure you're double tapping on that screen, sharing it with your friends, doing all that good stuff. Whoa, him in the comment section having to declare victory. That's really sad. All right, let's go to the next guest. If you're in that guest request box, make sure that you're 18 or older. Make sure that you think that there is something wrong with being gay, and with that, we'll go to the very next guest. Hey, how's it going?
Oh, cool. Hey, how are you?
Yeah, doing well. How old are you?
I am 21 years old. My birthday is the 19th of April, 2005.
Yeah.
If you're curious.
Yeah, sure.
So, I guess- sorry.
Wait, I'm sorry. Wait, you said you were 21?
I am.
Yeah, sure. Okay. Do you think that there's something wrong with being gay?
I do.
Yeah. What's wrong with that?
Do you want my my biblical perspective or?
Just whatever makes you think that being gay is wrong.
Well, scripture says specifically that it is.
Okay.
It also talks about the mind that one has in thinking that, why they think the way they do. And
Sure. Okay. Why would I take seriously the ethics of a book that, you know, says that genocides are just sometimes?
I don't see anywhere in the Bible where it says genocide
Yeah,
or just.
It says that God's perfectly just, that everything that he does is just. And then God commands a genocide in 1 Samuel 15, 2-3. So it would follow from that genocide was just. So do you think that that's just?
What genocide specifically?
Yeah, it's the genocide of the
talking about?
Amalekites, the men, the women, the children, and the infants. Let me pull that up.
Not familiar with it.
Yep. So I'll read it to you. Thus says the Lord of hosts, I will punish the Amalekites for what they did in opposing the Israelites when they came up out of Egypt. Now go and attack Amalek and utterly destroy all that they have. Do not spare them, but kill both man and woman, child and infant, ox and sheep, camel and donkey. Do you think that's just?
Do you think that the Lord punishes sin?
I don't think God exists, but do you think that that's just?
So, okay, so yeah, I think that if God's punishing sin,
So you think
Or
that
God-
it's just
I
to
don't
give infants
believe-
the death penalty?
I don't believe that God is ever cursing or murdering himself. I believe that God removes his hand of protection. God removes his hand of grace. God removes his blessing upon a nation, a people.
By this logic, you would
believe-
say that Hitler never murdered anyone because all he did was give the orders.
I'm sorry, that's that's not what I'm saying.
Well, but
What
what would be
I'm
the
s-
distinction there?
And the reason why that's happened specifically is because the Jews themselves were asking for the punishment of the sacrifice or the crucifixion of Jesus to be on their hands. When
Wait,
you see
sorry.
that,
Does that have anything to do with what we're talking about?
well, you just asked me about Hitler and the Jews and the Holocaust specifically.
So, yeah, what I'm asking is like, do you think that somebody has committed murder if all they've done is like give the order? Because I think that
I
giving the
believe
order
there
to
was-
commit a
I
murder
believe that-
makes you guilty of that murder.
I believe that we serve a just God. You said that you don't believe in God.
Wait, sorry, do you think that answers the question?
Is it
Well,
just to murder infants? Is what we're asking you.
No, it's not just to murder infants. But
Okay.
it's not that
Just
God
answer the
himself
question,
was.
then.
It's not the. Well, that's what I just answered. I don't think it's just to murder.
Can I just get like
infants.
a point blank answer? Do you think Hitler murdered anyone?
Well, yes, of course I do.
Yeah, even though he himself
believe he
wasn't the one
was-
down there like pulling the trigger.
I believe that the people, that were responsible for 9/11 were still given orders to do what they did,
Yeah.
for example.
Yeah, so you would still
So
hold
it
responsible
was-
the people giving those orders, right? So God is still responsible for giving these orders.
No, he's responsible
You don't
for
think God gave the
removing-
orders?
I believe that God's hand of protection was inevitably
That's not what it says,
removed.
though.
Wait,
It-
so,
that
wait.
God directly
Well,
I just want to
you're
know. I just want to
asking-
know. Wait,
You're
who gave the
asking a
orders?
question. You're asking a question that's intellectually dishonest.
Who gave the orders? Just answer the question.
It's a I don't know how to explain it. It's
Do you want me
a
to read the
pull it up
verse
on the
again?
screen? Yeah, can you
No,
pull it up on the
the-
screen so he
the
doesn't
verse
run?
is very self-explanatory.
I
But
agree.
Yeah, but you're running.
What you're
running and you're being dishonest. So we'll just pull it
no,
up so that
I'm not
everybody can
being
see it.
dishonest. I'm
You're
just
being very dishonest. You know you are
no.
too.
I'm not being dishonest.
Yeah, you
I'm
are.
saying that
All right, work yourself into a pretzel. It's okay. We're just gonna read it for everybody that has common sense.
Yep, it's on screen.
Oh.
Who gave the order is the question. It's right there.
well, the Lord. Well, yeah, we already know who gave the orders. We
Yeah.
already know who's stating these things. But this is in
Yeah.
response to the sin that is being committed.
Yeah, sure. So
These-
you would
this is
agree
the-
that God's
this is the-
responsible for it, though.
This is the consequence. This is the consequence for the action, for the sin, for
But
the murders, for
is
the.
God morally responsible for this?
Is God morally responsible?
Yeah.
Are you talking about in like a law kind of sense?
No, in like a moral kind of sense. Like, do you think that God is like praiseworthy or blameworthy for
we
this type
get-
of thing?
We get our sense of moral compass from God Himself.
That wasn't the question. The question was, do you think God is morally responsible for this?
Morally responsible? No, I think that the people that this is
You don't
happening.
think giving a command to do a thing makes you morally responsible for something?
This is something that's in response to what's being done by this group of people, this nation. This is
No, I
something
know.
that's-
I'm aware of that.
This is something that they're bringing upon themselves.
No, I'm aware of that, right? But still, if
So
you give
you're
the punishment,
asking
you're
the
morally
question-
responsible for giving the punishment.
You're asking.
That's
the
why, for
question as if-
example, if you give the death penalty to the wrong person, you did something deeply wrong and you're morally responsible for doing that.
but you're saying this as if like for instance, when someone receives the death penalty, we assume that it was just. We assume that they passed down just judgment.
Depends on the circumstance, but yeah.
Right. So in this case, I'm saying that with the punishment that these people are receiving, we assume that it's a just punishment for the crimes, the sin that they committed.
Do you think the infants deserve the death penalty? God,
Do
how my
I think
voice cracking
do
up
I
here.
think that infants deserve to
Yeah,
die?
the infants that got slaughtered here, do you think that they deserve the death penalty?
No, of course I don't think that infants
Oh,
deserve
then
to
God
die.
gave an undeserved punishment to them.
This is a punishment that's being received by a group of
Did
people,
they
an entire
deserve
nation,
it? Did
because
everyone
of.
in the group deserve it?
Okay, are kids held responsible for the actions of their parents?
They definitely shouldn't be. I don't think that if your parents murdered
Are
people
we-
that you should get the death penalty.
Are we not? No, but I'm saying as
like
a
point
as a
blank,
group-
no.
But I'm saying that are we like generational curses, for instance?
Yeah, point
we
blank,
not-
no. I don't think that kids are responsible for the actions
No,
of their
I'm not
parents
saying that
they
someone
had no
would like
control over.
intentionally pass down this, but inherently, like from a generational kind of aspect or generational kind of curses in an example, if you
No,
will.
of course not. That's gibberish.
Gibberish.
Like if you tried to hold responsible somebody because of crimes that their parents committed,
No.
that would
I'm
be
saying
extremely unjust.
not in that sense. I'm saying that if a person, like a parent, for instance, does something like smokes or drinks, and perhaps it's the child that's in the womb, are they not affected by the parent's choices to drink and smoke?
Yeah, causally affected, but they're not morally responsible for what happens to their parent.
Well, that's the aspect of sin, is that sin is it's a very moral
Did
thing.
God have free will when he gave the command to kill them?
We have free will.
That
God has
didn't answer
given-
the question.
God-
That was just a dodge. Do you think God
How
had
was
free
that a
will
dodge?
when he was given the command? When he gave the command to kill the Amalekites, did God have free will?
Did God have free will when he gave the command? Like, did he give the command?
Yeah, was this like a free will thing?
I don't In one light, yes, but in one light, no.
It's a contradiction.
I know, and I'm trying to figure out how to word it in a way that makes sense, in a way that can be understood. So, in response to sin, I guess if we're talking about the Old Testament days, is this what the same verse Samuel was it in the Old Testament? I think so.
Yeah.
I think that before the sacrifice of Jesus Christ, when you had animal sacrifices and things of that nature, sin was dealt with very differently. There was a much harsher punishment for sin. So do I think that God had free will or out of his own like inward choice to say and give this command? Yes. But I also think it's in response to the sin that was committed. I also think it's in response to the sin that was or the consequences from the sin that was brought upon them. So I think this was a kind of like, not light can't exist without dark, or dark can't exist without light kind of thing. But I truly believe that being in the time and day that God existed before the sacrifice of Jesus Christ, sin was dealt with a lot more harshly than is now in our present day.
And which one's the correct one? Like, which one's the actual just standard? Because you said that you now have like two standards of justice and that they're different. There's one in the Old Testament, which is different from the one in the New Testament. Which one accurately reflects the truth of justice? Or is justice relative?
What do you mean? Explain
You're saying
that
that there are
bit
two
further.
standards of justice, one from the Old Testament and one from the New Testament.
Well, there were
which one's the correct one?
There
or
were
is it
different
relative?
Well, they're both for different.
So it's relative. You're like a moral relativist.
What do you mean?
You think that morals are like subjective or like relative to the society. You don't think that there's like an absolute standard for justice. You think it's just like a descriptive fact about what societies do when they punish people.
Well, I can't say that that's across the board, because the way that we deal with serving justice is completely different from the way that you, for example, said Hitler deals with justice.
Yeah. But it sounds like you're saying that there is no like underlying fact of the matter as to what's just and what's not just.
We have inwardly, as scripture says, a way of discerning what's morally right and wrong written on our hearts.
Okay. Written on your hearts. Is the slaughter of these infants good?
No, I can't say that inherently that's a good thing, but I'm saying that the cause of sin, like the sin itself. Oh, my phone's about to die. Hold on, let me plug it up. I'm saying that this is a consequence of the sin that was committed by this nation, this group of people.
Was it committed by the children?
No, but like we see it in instance.
Then why did they receive the punishment if they didn't deserve it?
This is, I don't know if you are familiar with the saying, the sins of the father.
That's gibberish. You don't deserve to get punished for the things that your parents did.
How is that gibberish?
Because if your dad committed like a ton of murders, do you think that that means that it would be right to give you the death penalty?
I think that you can inherit. I think you can inherit
yes or
a lot of
no?
things from your parents because of the things that your parents do and the choices that your parents choose to make. Yes, I believe that there are many instances in which a son, a daughter.
Wait, so you do think that if your dad, like if you found out that your dad was like a serial killer, you would think that you deserve to die?
No, that's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying there are many.
Would you deserve to die if you found out that your dad was like a serial killer?
No, but I'm saying that.
Why not? Why wouldn't you?
There are many traits. There are many traits.
Many traits. The reason why you wouldn't deserve it is many traits. Do you have like a real answer?
Well, I'm trying to finish my answer.
Yeah. The question is just why
that you would have them.
Why wouldn't you deserve it?
And I'm saying, and again, I'm saying that the reason that they received the punishment that they did was because of their sin. There, we see all throughout, from the beginning of time to the present day, the consequence for sin. The state of the world that we're living in right now, and the reason that.
What question did I just ask you?
I'm sorry.
What question did I just ask you? Because you aren't even trying to answer it.
I'm listening. Ask your
the question.
I may have misheard you.
Yeah, you said that you wouldn't deserve the death penalty if your dad was a
No,
serial
I wouldn't
killer,
deserve the death penalty for
Why-
committing the action, but I would have.
why wouldn't you deserve the death penalty if you find out that your dad's a serial killer?
My dad would deserve the death penalty, not myself,
Why?
because I am not the one that did it.
Yes, right, exactly. So then take that exact same principle and then apply it to the Amalekite infants. The people who did the crime deserve the punishment. The people who didn't do the crime don't deserve the punishment.
So you're saying, as a whole, as a nation, when God is judging a people, they all wouldn't be affected?
No, just that the ones that didn't do the crime don't deserve the punishment, so it would be unjust to give it to them, and the ones that did deserve that did do the crime do deserve the punishment, so it would be just to give it to them. You can punish people who are guilty, not people who are innocent.
But if this is a nation that's guilty, would all parties not be involved?
No, certainly not the infants. The infants aren't
Do
involved.
you know why the Amalekites were being punished, by the way?
I'm not familiar with this. Is there something that you'd like to share?
I mean, if you don't know, that's a wild assumption, because now you're assuming that the infants would be like,
No, I'm not assuming. I already answered the question that they didn't deserve, they didn't deserve not deserve necessarily, but they weren't responsible necessarily for
right.
the
So
sins
the
of.
punishment was unjust. So why can't we just get to the conclusion that God made an unjust decision in
Because
punishing
we
the
serve,
Amalekite
we
infants?
serve a just God, and in our own
That's a
human way,
contradiction. He can't make an unjust
our
decision.
human way of thinking doesn't allow. Who's at my door?
Can you do an unjust thing and be just?
Hold on just a moment.
I think my human brain's doing just fine.
Hi, how are you? Yes, sir. I appreciate it. Apologies. You have a blessed day. I'm doing all right. Yes, sir. You have a good one. My bad.
So can an
Somebody
all
was looking
just
for me. No,
okay,
you were
can an all
asking.
just God
You were asking, can someone be just and make an unjust
decision? Yeah.
decision? No, that kind of sounds a little contradictory.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
But I'm saying the just punishment.
I went ahead and
just-
formalized this. Maybe we could get clear on where you disagree. So I have premise 1, God only gives just punishments. Premise 2, punishing innocent people is unjust. Premise 3, the Amalekite infants were innocent when God punished them.
Punishing innocent people is unjust. So these are the premises. These are your points you make.
These 3 things are mutually exclusive. 2 of these things can be true, but not all 3 of these things can be true.
Huh. I think we're leaving something out.
We can drive the contradiction from just these 3. Anything additional that you add is going to be, it's not going to help avoid the contradiction.
Well, I'm saying that you're implying that because of these unjust things, or seemingly unjust things, they came about, being that God allowed these things, and you're saying that
Commanded,
that
not
would make
allowed.
it. Well, you're saying that would make the unjust. That would make a just God, the just God that I'm saying I serve, unjust, is what you're saying.
What I'm saying is that these 3 things are mutually incompatible. You need to reject one of them. You either need to reject that God only gives just punishments, or you need to reject that punishing innocent people is unjust, or you need to reject that the Amalekite infants were innocent when they got punished.
Was it? Well, I'm saying, how was it an innocent people?
The Amalekite infants were innocent. They didn't commit any crime.
We're talking about the women and the children and
I'm talking about the
fathers.
infants. Were the infants innocent
just
or guilty?
by themselves?
Yeah.
We're talking about innocence as in people they can't choose or decide for
Like
themselves.
didn't commit a crime, maybe?
Well, yeah, I guess it's just one point of it. I mean, they don't have any. There's no moral accountability at all because they're infants.
Sure. So then you agree that they're innocent.
Well, yeah, that's the point.
Yep. So you
But
agree
I'm
with the third
saying those.
one?
But
Do you
I'm
agree
saying
that
those that.
punishing innocent people is unjust?
But I'm saying that the mothers and the fathers weren't innocent
Yeah.
in their
Which premise
acts.
does that reject?
You're giving me a list of 3.
Yeah,
but
these are the only 3 that are relevant for the
This is a
contradiction.
wider This is a wider topic.
But it's not 'cause the
Unfortunately, it's as
parents-
simple as these 3. You need to reject with one of these, otherwise there's a contradiction on your view.
The premise that you're giving is so intellectually dishonest. I'm
You
sorry.
think
I can't.
giving a deductive contradiction
I can't
is
align
dishonest?
myself. I can't align
Do you think
myself.
it's dishonest to use logic?
Do I think? Okay, even in asking that question, you're being dishonest.
Why is this dishonest to use logic? All I'm doing is using logic applied to 3 views that you hold to demonstrate how you can't hold all 3 of them. How would that be a dishonest thing to do?
Samuel, but you don't mention Romans.
Wait, you need to reject a premise.
I don't need to reject
You
a
do.
premise.
Otherwise, there's a contradiction on your view.
I don't think there's a contradiction on my view.
Yeah, so the contradiction would be God only gives just punishments,
Yes, this is true.
and
like I said,
God
at the
gave
very,
an unjust punishment
at
to
the
the
very beginning.
Amalekite infants. You understand how this is a contradiction, right?
What do you mean?
That God only gives just punishment contradicts the idea that God gave an unjust punishment to the Amalekite infants.
Say that one more time. I might not even be understanding.
It's a contradiction to say that both God only gives just punishments and also that God gave an unjust punishment to the Amalekite infants.
Is that something that I stated you're saying, or is that something that you're stating?
This is something you're committed to. If you accept all 3 of these, there's a contradiction, the one that's on screen. It's highlighted even.
Mind you, you've already conceded that whenever God gave the punishment for the Amalekite infants, it was unjust. So you've already.
I don't
you've already
remember
contradicted
saying that
yourself.
specifically.
We
Did I
can go
say
back;
that?
it's recorded.
Yeah, I'm just curious if I said that. I don't know if I misspoke
several times. I asked you several times. Ian asked you directly after I asked you.
Wait, do you think, are we ever going to get just a clear answer as to which one you disagree
I don't know
with?
if I just don't know how to answer your question, or if I'm not. If
Well, we
you're
can just ask you again.
if I'm
then.
misunderstanding
Do you
what you're
think that the
trying
punishment
to
towards the
ask,
Amalekite infants was just?
I think the punishment that they received as a whole, I don't necessarily.
Is it just to slaughter infants?
Oh no. That you're speaking in general terms now. I'd say no.
Oh, when is it just to slaughter infants?
It's never just to slaughter infants, but
So it was unjust when God did that.
you're speaking in one facet of the situation. That's why
let's just get super clear about this. Let's say I have 3 beliefs. I hold that Socrates is a man. I believe that all men are mortal, and I believe that Socrates is not mortal.
Yeah.
Could I believe all 3 of these things at the same time while being logical?
I'm sorry?
Would it be logically consistent to believe all 3 of those things at the same time? That Socrates is a man, that all men are mortal, and that Socrates is not mortal?
And that's still intellectually dishonest.
Could I just want a yes or no to that.
And that's no, because one of those doesn't line up well.
Exactly.
And that's
exactly
that's
right.
another
yeah.
That's another thing.
You couldn't be intellectually consistent and believe all 3 similarly.
You
can't be intellectually consistent and believe that God only gives just punishments, that punishing innocent people is unjust, and that the Amalekite infants were innocent when God punished them.
Well, you're forgetting the fact that Jesus was fully God and fully man.
Yeah, sure. So let's say we add the 4th fact in. Jesus is fully God and fully man. Back into our Socrates scenario, let's say somebody believes that Socrates is a man, that all men are mortal, and that Socrates is not mortal. And then they say, well, what you're forgetting is that Jesus is fully God and fully man. Do you think that adding the 4th belief that Jesus is fully God and fully man does anything to resolve these three beliefs, the fact that they're contradictory, that Socrates is a man, that all men are mortal, and that Socrates is not mortal? Do you think adding, do you think that would change anything?
You're giving specifics. If you say all men are mortal, then you'd have to specify that there's one that isn't fully mortal.
Oh, So you think that would it be
I
logically
believe that
consistent to say
Jesus
that
was.
all
I
men are
believe that.
mortal?
Well, it's vague. That's all I'm saying. It's very.
Then it
It's a
sounds
very
like,
vague
okay,
statement with the fourth that you added.
presumably the thing that if you want to reject two, that's fine. But I'm speaking of like somebody who holds these three things together.
And the top and the
Do you
topic
see how
of
like
this.
adding the fourth one doesn't help resolve the contradiction?
What do you mean? It doesn't add. It doesn't add. I'm sorry. Say that again. Maybe I'm not following what you're putting
Yeah,
down.
when you add okay, we have our Socrates example. You can't believe all three of these at the same time. You have to give one up. Do you understand how adding like the fourth one doesn't change the fact that you have to give one up?
You just said all men are mortal, and Socrates is not mortal. Like, are you saying that 2 and 3 are
I'm
contradiction?
saying 1, 2, and 3 are contradictory.
Oh, I see. You're saying all three of them they can't
Together,
go
they're
the same.
contradictory.
Okay, yeah, I guess I understand what you're saying now. You're explaining a term that I'm not familiar with, or some example you're giving me I'm not familiar with. But I guess I understand where you're coming from in that regard.
Okay.
So how does this correlate to what you're saying about the infants?
Yes. So this adding the fourth point in here that Jesus is fully God and fully man doesn't resolve the fact that there's a contradiction in the initial three. Similarly, adding to the Amalekite infants that Jesus is fully God and fully man doesn't help resolve the contradiction that's present in the initial three.
Okay, maybe I'm still not following.
There's in the same way there's a contradiction in these three with Socrates, there's a contradiction with these three with God giving just punishments and the Amalekite infants, being innocent and then punishing innocent people being an unjust thing to do.
So what you're saying is because of there being infants that are innocent,
Yeah.
and there being a just punishment being given, both of those can exist at the same time, is what you're saying.
If you agree that punishing innocent people is unjust, then both of those can't exist at the same time.
Okay, I understand what you're trying to say. I was completely confused with what you were trying to say, and I don't know if it's just because I wasn't thinking about
That's
it correctly,
okay.
but the fact that you took the time to explain what you meant, that makes more sense to me now.
Yeah. So do you understand how there's a problem with believing all three? Like you can believe 1 and 3,
Yeah,
you
I
can
see
believe
what
1 and
yeah,
2, you
yeah.
can believe 2 and 3, but you can't believe all three of these.
Right. And the fact that you explained it that way, that makes a lot more sense to me.
Yeah. So is there one that
So how does this, I'm sorry, and if you don't mind me asking,
Yeah.
how does this correlate with your topic that you have up here?
Because I don't think that the Bible is a good place to get our standard of morality.
What about scriptures like Romans that talk about the mind being given over to vile, untruths being given over to, or men being given over to vile affections, men
Yeah.
burning in their passions for men and women towards women.
Yeah, I think we have good reason to disbelieve the entire Bible or like the supernatural moral claims of the entire Bible, just on the basis that if you thought that the moral claims of the Bible are true, then that would commit you to saying that it's just sometimes to give infants the death penalty.
That sounds a little wildly put. I know that in the mind that God has given me, I can't always know the things of God. There are many mysteries.
Mhm.
Now, I'm not saying that killing infants is just, but I'm saying that there are many consequences for sin. I think that that's been shown since the beginning of the Bible.
Can
And
infants sin?
I'm sorry?
Can infants sin?
I've already stated that there is no moral accountability for infants.
Then why are you
Because-
saying that?
I'm sorry?
Then why are you saying that?
Why am I saying what?
Why are you saying that like people get punished for sin, but infants can't sin, which doesn't like go against or refute the positions we've been laying out the entire time? Like you're just saying sentences that aren't relevant to the argument.
Well, if we look at Adam and Eve, to answer your question, we see that when they sinned, it affected the generations to come after them.
Yeah, I
I'm
think
not
that's
saying- I'm
unjust.
not-
That's
I'm not-
unjust as well, but that's
Well, I'm
for
not
another
saying-
conversation. Can you address the
Well-
contradiction we've already laid out? Because
Right, and I'm addressing it,
Ian
and
is
I've been trying.
positing-
Huh?
What Ian is positing is that we shouldn't take the ethics of the Bible seriously, right? If God is going to directly condone, slaughtering infants, and you don't think that's okay. But how are
Condone.
yes, because he condoned and told them to do it.
It's a punishment that's happening.
Cannot.
It's
Yeah,
not something
I
that
agree. You can't punish somebody who's innocent, right? That would be
I'm
unjust, correct?
I'm not saying that God himself is doing these things. I'm saying that sin
But the
brought this
scripture
on.
says that. The scripture says that God commanded those things.
God commanded these things in removing his hand. I'm not saying that God
He
is
didn't remove his hand. He
This
told
is
the
a
people, he told the Israelites to go and punish the Amalekites, infant, children, women, cattle, the sheep, donkeys, and slaughter all of them.
for regards to what?
Because they're
Losing a battle 400
Sin.
years prior.
This is a this
yeah,
this is
their great grandparents attacked the Israelites. They fought
That-
one battle against them and they lost the battle.
that
And then
proves
God waits 400 years and then punishes their great grandchildren, including the infants, and gives them the death penalty. I don't even think that I'm like skeptical as to whether or not the other ones even deserve the death penalty, frankly. But for sure, the infants don't.
again. I had mentioned that there was quite a different way of punishing sin
Was
in
it
the Old
just?
Testament. I believe that the punishment and the consequences that they received because of their sin, yes, were just.
Okay, so
Okay.
it was just to slaughter the infants.
I'm not saying like generally speaking, it's just to slaughter infants. That's not what
Just
I'm
in
saying.
this
I don't-
circumstance,
in that circumstance, yeah.
In this circumstance, if that was the consequence for sin, then this was a just punishment
Well,
that
they
God was
can't
giving.
sin because they're infants.
yeah.
We're not talking about the infants themselves. We're talking about the parents. We're talking about the generations before them.
Wait, then why would you kill the
we
infants?
don't pay the price. Exactly.
If the infants aren't the ones that are deserving of the punishment, then why would you punish them?
I don't know any other way else to explain it to you all. Like I don't know how many times I've reworded it or tried to explain it.
I think you've wrapped yourself in a pretzel and you don't know how to deal with the contradiction in your worldview.
Okay, if you want to make this like super easy for us, you can just tell us between 1, 2, and 3 which one's false. 1 is God only gives just punishments. 2 is that punishing innocent people is unjust. And 3 is that the Amalekite infants were innocent when God punished them.
We're gonna have to agree to disagree.
Can you just tell us which one's false?
I do see where you're coming from.
Wait,
I do see where
is one of these false or are they all true?
I do see where you're coming from.
Can I just get an answer to the question?
But again, I do feel like the way that you're asking the question or the way that you're presenting it is not inherently honest. And
I don't know. Like, what about this is dishonest?
That's just my personal.
What about this?
In
what way is this dishonest?
Well, specifically regarding just what we know about sin and what we know about how it affects generations.
You contradicted yourself on sin this entire point. You go, well, sin, we see all different types of punishment, but infants can't sin, but they get punished for their parents' sin, but they don't at the same time. But it was just because God commanded it, but it's not just if God, punishes unjust or like infants because they're unjust, like it's unjust to like slaughter infants. Like you're going back and forth on every single point we're making.
Wait, say that again? The last part?
You're going back and forth on every single point we're making. You said it's unjust to slaughter infants, but apparently it's just in this specific instance. But also you're saying, God...
the people, like I said, the nation themselves are receiving a punishment for their sin.
Okay. Listen, bud.
I don't...
If you accept all 3 of these things, then you have a contradiction. In the same way that if you accept all 3 of the Socrates statements, you have a contradiction. You need to get rid of one of these. It's your choice which one, but you need to get rid of one of them.
I'm sorry, pause. What's disingenuous mean?
Disingenuous means that you're, I don't know, like behaving in a way that's like dishonest, usually to, I don't know, in some way like screw the other person over. But there's nothing dishonest about what I'm doing. You affirm all 3 of these.
I'm curious that's what somebody said in chat. I didn't know if they thought that about me or what it is, but I'm listening to what you're saying. I genuinely don't understand.
Do you believe God only gives just punishments?
Yes.
Do you think punishing innocent people is unjust?
Do I think punishing innocent people is unjust?
Yes.
Yes.
Do you think
But
that the
I also
Amalekite infants were innocent whenever God?
yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Well,
But
I just think that there's like no conversation to be had if you're just going to like affirm the contradiction over and over again.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know. Anyway, make sure you're double tapping on that screen, sharing it with your friends, doing all that good stuff. If you're in that guest request box, make sure that you're 18 or older. Make sure that you think that there is something wrong with being gay. Let's read some supers. Cold Ace Austin, thanks so much for the $2 super chat. Stop streaming. No. Pooh Bear Thought, thanks so much for the super chat. Let's all follow the example of our Lord and Savior and take on some flesh this pride. True. Based. Cold Ace Austin, thanks so much for the super chat. Spawn of Satan. Simeon Churin, thanks so much for the super chat. Keep streaming. Thanks. Simeon Churin, thanks so much for the super chat. Spawn of Satan. Cold Ace Austin, thanks so much for the super chat. People hate you for a reason. Cold Ace Austin, thanks so much for the super chat. This whole live stream is a psychological operation. Wow, this guy's like unwell. Yeah, he throws like spaghetti at the wall and sees psychological operations everywhere. Maybe he went through like YouTube Shorts, but he threw like the spaghetti at his monitor first, and he's like, I find one right there. I find one right there. Carl Grimes, thanks so much for the super chat. Be careful on Grindr, y'all. That angry caller could be on there waiting for a victim. True. Nikuto, thanks so much for the super chat. This topic is an infinite clip glitch. Yeah, although I think it's kind of boring, right? Like, I think that there is something that's like not super interesting about just like having a person who can't track affirming contradictions over and over again. But no, I appreciate it. Cold Ace Austin, thanks so much for the super chat. Larry Beck, thanks so much for the super chat. Keep bringing the light. Let's get a big W for the $50 from Larry. Larry, I appreciate the heck out of you. I appreciate the heck out of you. For those of you who don't know, I'm taking college courses for philosophy at like a community college. I didn't do any philosophy courses in my undergrad, so I'm taking classes now because I want to apply to grad school in the next couple of years. I want to get like a PhD or like a master's degree and then a PhD. But you need to have like some philosophy coursework, some philosophy letters of recommendation, and like a writing sample. I don't have any of those things, so I'm taking courses. If not for big super chats like this, I probably wouldn't be able to do that. Thanks so much. Allegedly stream, thanks so much for the super chat. Ali Zhen, maybe? Thanks so much for 500 bits. This guy would say kids are responsible for their parents being child abusers for sure. True. Dr. Fudge, thanks so much for the super chat. Keep streaming or I'm going to do it. No, don't do it. Don't do it. Dr. Fudge, no. No. But a big W for Dr. Fudge for that $20 super chat. Andrew Coates, thanks so much for the $50 super chat. Same thing that I said earlier. I really appreciate that from the bottom of my heart. Big supers like this are what make this stream possible, what allows me to continue to like learning every single day. I become a bit smarter, a bit more knowledgeable every single day, and I couldn't do this without you. It becomes so easy to, fix parts of my life that are like in shambles to allow me to stream better, allow me to get like better sleep, for example. I don't know. This streaming operation really is like the center of my life, and I really appreciate it. I couldn't do it without all of you. Thank you all for letting me do that. Hereticlish, thanks so much for the super chat. Always enjoy watching you cook. Get him. Thanks so much for the super chat. Appreciate you. Pacho, thanks so much for the super chat. I know this isn't a huge sample size, but I am desperate to draw an inference or two from the fact that your second and third callers both slipped anti-Semitism into their incoherent homophobia. Yeah, I didn't even catch it with the last one. I know he made like some comment about Jewish people. I didn't think too much about it, but let's get a big W for Pacho. Thanks so much. Bear Peace, thanks so much for the super chat. It's maddening when Christians use that it was a different time then, but if God is directly handing out punishments in those times, they're saying he's fallible. I don't know how you can account for the fact that God is giving these like separate moral laws at separate times. If you think God's outside of time, God is just like eternally willing both of them. Why? What? Huh? How? If you're like a perfectly moral being, then you should be giving like a perfectly moral law. And a perfectly moral law doesn't need to change. If you're in that guest request box, again, make sure that you're 18 or older. Make sure that you think that there is something wrong with being gay. If you guys want to get started with philosophy, if you want to read about ethics, we're reading Rosalind Hursthouse's On Virtue Ethics in my Discord. It's at 8 p.m. EST this Saturday. You need to have read the third chapter, which is titled Resolvable Dilemmas. I think that's the second chapter. It's labeled chapter 2, but if you include the intro, it's the third chapter. Read the chapter about resolvable dilemmas, 8 p.m. EST. It's discord.gg/allegedly Ian. You got to be 18 or older. All right, let's go to the very next guest. Hey, how's it going?
Hello. Good. What about you?
Yep. Doing well. How old are you?
I'm 19.
Yeah. And what religion? Or sorry, I'm so sorry. Don't answer that question. Do you think there's something wrong with being gay?
Well, I wanted to talk to you about another topic that relates to being gay. If you are fine with that.
But do you think that there's I'm not fine with that. Do you think there's something wrong with being gay?
With being gay, no, but with same-sex marriage, yes.
Oh, why?
Well, I just believe that same-sex marriage can cause many conflicts when it comes to a lot of illegal issues.
Like what?
Well, for example, a lot of times, or not only legal issues, but also social issues. A lot of kids, well, a lot of us were raised with a mother and father, and I feel like it is kind of being raised with two mothers or two fathers can kind of cause a conflict, or maybe not develop some issues correctly.
Yeah. So, I mean, you could make the same argument about like, you know, children to immigrants where they like learn a second language at home, or where they bring in foods that are considered like weird and foreign to school for their school lunches, that, you know, this is going to get the kids like ostracized or something. You know, that's a problem with society. That's no indict of, you know, immigrants having children, or, you know, bringing in foods that your parents make from you that are from other cultures. I just don't think that that's like a compelling reason to not do it.
Well,
Also, you can, oh wait, sorry, you were off the app for just a second. Additionally, you can be gay and not have kids. So it seems like the entire thing is a non-starter.
oh, well, I mean, I understand that, but a lot of same-sex marriages do want to have a child.
Mhm.
Well, can you elaborate on what you just said? Because I feel like a lot of those issues, they don't exactly follow with they don't exactly follow with the same type of idea or concept of the social conflict of same-sex marriage when it comes to the child and how they
My
grow up.
understanding of your argument, and I could be wrong, but my understanding of your argument is something like, we can't have gay people getting married because if they get married and adopt children, then those children are going to get made fun of for the fact that they have like two dads or two moms, or maybe it's going to like change their development in a way that's like detrimental. But I mean, the idea that it's going to change their development in a way that's detrimental is just empirically denied. We have studies as to the well-being of these kids, and there is no difference between kids that are raised by same-sex couples and kids that are raised by different sex couples. So it seems like the only one that, I don't know, I might be just like misunderstanding your argument, but is that not what
no,
you're
you do
saying?
have a good idea. Well, you actually brought up a good point. A lot of, at least in today's world, and I'm guessing back then as well, a lot of kids have been made fun of, and most likely will be made fun of for having for having same-sex parents. To be honest, same-sex parents. To be honest, I'm not someone, I try to be accepting, but a lot of people I know aren't. And like I said, I feel like indirectly can cause an issue, directly because of all the bullying that they may go through in life. Of course, it also depends what type of school you put them in, but a lot of same-sex parents will put them in some schools where they will be made fun of, maybe like public schools or something.
Yeah.
But that's not like it's like a societal issue. That's not like again like what Ian was saying. That has nothing to do with the actual couple itself, right? Like if you were to take like an interracial couple, right? They're gonna have issues because people are racist, right? And there are gonna be families who don't want that couple to be married because they don't think that you should quote unquote mix races, right? So that has nothing to do with the black person or the
Well,
white
that's
the
not a
black
big as
person,
an
the white
issue.
person being married. That has everything to do with society being racist. In the same
Well,
token,
but that's
right?
not a big as an issue though. At
That's
least nowadays,
that's
I
not a
feel like more
bigoted.
people
Wait, that's
will
not a
have an
bigoted
issue
issue.
with being with like same-sex couples than interracial couples. Again, maybe it's not as normal, but from what I know and from I haven't really read any studies on this, but I don't see people having many issues when it comes to interracial couples in comparison to
Are you what?
same-sex
Well,
couples.
I don't think you're the one to speak for that because you're not a black person, right?
I
I'm
understand
not
that, but I
either.
am a minority.
I'm not. That's fine. And I'm also a minority, but I could never speak for a black person, so I don't think that's fair for you to say. You can go find statistics, but you can't
Well,
speak on the experiences of black
let's
people.
let's pick like an easy one. Let's talk about like, I don't know, like opposite race adoption. Like let's say that, you know, you're like a black child adopted by white parents, something like that. You can mix and match the races however you'd like. You know, people are gonna make fun of you for the fact that you're like adopted, and the fact that you're like, let's say they don't even make fun of you for the fact that you're like a different race from your parent. They're gonna make fun of you for being adopted. Does that mean that it's wrong to adopt a child because by adopting a child, they're gonna get made fun of for that?
Well, I feel like we're kind of going away from like my original point. To answer your question, I don't think it's necessarily. I think it's kind of a gray area because it's not wrong for the parent. Like it's not wrong to adopt a um a child of a different race, but I feel like you mentioned, they could get bullied. And you're right, it's a societal issue. Yet we can't fix that, and a lot of the problem is indirectly caused from having a same-sex couple adopt a child.
Well, wait. So a lot of people will just get made fun of for the fact that they're like adopted alone. Do you think that
I
makes it wrong to adopt a kid? Like, would that make it wrong? Because you're saying that it's wrong for like a gay couple to adopt a kid because they'll get made fun of for having gay parents. But like an
well,
adopted kid might get made fun of for having like adoptive parents.
well, I understand that, but a lot of kids a lot of kids may find out that a kid has same-sex parents before they find out that they're uh, adopted.
Wait, sorry, say it again.
That might be true, but that wouldn't change anything, right? Like that just shows more
Well,
stigma.
how so exactly?
Because that just shows more stigma in society. And again, this would be like blaming, a child for getting bullied, right? Like that makes no sense. Why would you
Well,
oppress
I'm not
the
blaming
kid
the
that's
child here.
bullied?
I'm blaming
Hang
the
on,
parent.
let me finish my
Okay.
sentence.
But that's like crazy.
Why would you oppress the kid that's getting bullied as opposed to pointing at the bully and say, let's get rid of the bullies?
I got bullied in school because I read too many books when I was in elementary school. Do you think that my parents should have stopped sending me to school with books?
No, well, but I do feel like it's a different type of bullying, maybe even heavier bullying because of how. Oh, it depends, of course, where you live, but it is an issue that is looked down upon.
But do you think it gives
Same-sex
my parents like any reason at all to not send me to school with books? The fact that I'm going to get bullied for reading books?
Not exactly, no.
Yeah, I don't think that the fact that I get bullied for doing something gives my parents like any reason to tell me to stop. Or like, let's say I had to wear like some embarrassing like dental headgear to school full time to fix like my dental issues, and I'm going to get bullied for that. I don't think that my parents shouldn't do that if it's necessary for my teeth. You know, it just seems like you getting
Well, I mean,
bullied for something doesn't give your parents a reason to not do that thing.
No, well, I mean, I understand that, but it's avoidable.
Yeah, it might be avoidable, but at what cost? Like, why? I think bullying is like a part of the experience of being a kid, and it's wrong, and you should discourage it. And to the extent that it's possible, you should stop it. But, I don't think that just because your kid is going to get bullied for something means that it's wrong to do that thing.
It would be like saying somebody wearing glasses is wrong. How many kids get bullied for wearing glasses or having braces? Like, you would have to say those things in and itself would
Well,
be wrong.
that is much more normalized. I mean, I've never
No,
at least.
kids get called four eyes every day.
I mean,
They get
I'm
their
not. I
glasses
don't want
stomped
to.
on,
I don't want to
bro.
use anecdotal evidence here, but at least in my own life experiences, I've had lots of friends with I have friends with glasses. I have friends with braces, and none of them have ever been made fun of because we almost all of us, we went through that. We all had braces at one point, or braces exactly. We all had braces at one point. So I don't believe it's a.
What
I
if
think it's
you're what if you're
different
super
type.
ugly? Do you think it would be wrong to have kids? Because if your kid is super ugly, then they're gonna get bullied for being super ugly.
Not exactly, but I don't see
Would it
how.
be wrong at all?
Not really, but that is like, but you having a kid doesn't guarantee that the kid's gonna be ugly.
Okay, let's say you're ugly and your partner's ugly, and there's like a really high likelihood that the child's going to be ugly too. Do you think that means that you just like shouldn't have kids, or that it would be like wrong to have kids?
Sorry, can you say that again? Just so I
Yeah,
can catch
you're
up.
ugly, your wife's ugly. Would that be wrong then to have kids because your children are going to get bullied for being ugly?
I mean, that doesn't guarantee that your child is going to be ugly.
And being
Really. There's recessive
being
traits.
gay and adopting a child doesn't guarantee that your child's going to get made fun of.
Oh, I understand that, but I'm saying it is much more likely to a certain. Oh, because of how much more looked down
It's
upon
much
it is.
more likely that you're going to have
society.
ugly kids if you're ugly.
It's also not true. It's dependent on like where you live. If you're in like New York, you're not gonna get made fun of for being gay. So you're like assuming too much of like where you'd be at.
What I'm looking for is just like a good solid symmetry breaker. Like, what's different between this case and the case of like somebody who's ugly? Like, what feature is present in adopting, like gay people adopting kids, and then those kids getting bullied that isn't present in like an ugly person having an ugly child and then that child getting bullied? Like, what's the difference here?
I feel like just the difference in how looked down upon it is in society.
I feel like you would get bullied way more for being super ugly than you would for, I don't know, having like gay parents. Like, for example, I don't know, my brother's like a pretty fat dude, and he got bullied like constantly in school for something like that.
Okay.
I don't
Why
think
aren't you
that
like going?
if you and your
Well, I
partner
mean,
are
no,
fat, that means that you
I,
shouldn't have a kid just because you're like genetically like predisposed towards it or something.
Yeah, I mean, I'll give you that point.
Why don't you just go
So,
after people like being more societally open and or like, not being assholes to same-sex couples? Like, why wouldn't that be your goal instead of just saying that, gay people shouldn't get married because society sucks right now? They thought that about black people too, and they also thought that about like black and white people getting married, yet you have no issue talking about that, but they had to fight to get, where we're at with marriage rights and to be looked at as human, but for some reason you don't think that that's an issue to talk about. So why aren't you making like society just better to live in instead of victim blaming?
good point. I'm not sure actually.
It just seems like the focus is wrong. But do you have anything else you wanted to talk about?
No, not really. I mean, to be honest, I just came in here because one of my friends told me I should come in here. I came unprepared.
That's
To be
okay.
honest, I just wanted to see what y'all would say. But I mean, I don't like, to be honest, my point still stands. I don't believe that that same-sex marriage. Oh, because it was a way I was raised. I mean, my religion. But I don't
Well,
believe
wait, let's
exactly
talk about
right.
those
But
things then.
I
Right.
won't have a
Right,
I
like
won't
what's
have a- I
wrong
don't-
with it?
I mean, it's just the way I was raised. A lot of times, at least indirectly, the Bible does reference correctly, or not correctly. I don't want to say correctly. That sounds bad. The Bible does reference the, I guess, the correct. I don't want to sound like with no bad intention, but the Bible does reference that the correct way of marriage is a biological female and a biological male.
Okay, do you
At
think
least
it's
again, at least in other
okay?
relations that that's what I mean by indirectly. In other relationships that you see in the Bible, it is a male and a female.
So the Bible also says that rape victims should marry their rapists. I don't think that the Bible is a good standard about who should get married to who.
Well, I mean, I understand that, but again, it was the way that I was. Because I mean, well, to be honest, I mean, like I said, it was the way I was raised. I went to Catholic school. I've
Do you
grown up
think if
Christian.
somebody was raised to hate women, like young boys were raised to hate women, that it would be okay to hate women?
Not exactly, no.
I think it should be like a no period, not a not exactly, right?
Well, I mean, oh yeah, I
So
mean,
even though
no.
you're raised that way doesn't mean we shouldn't challenge your beliefs, and it doesn't mean your beliefs are correct because you were raised that way. So if we're
Oh,
looking
well,
at
I
if we're
understand that,
looking at the scripture in which it says specifically, actually, it says child, which is in I think it's in the Greek, and it references that you can that a man's punishment for raping a child, the punishment is to marry that child, and so the child, there's no autonomy for the woman or for the girl, there's no autonomy for her whatsoever. I think that's disgusting, and nobody should be following the sexual ethics of that book.
well, back then, the truth is
Don't
society
do
was a
it.
lot different.
Don't do it. Pull the ripcord. Don't say it.
You're talking to me?
Yeah. Whatever you're about to say, like for sure, don't do it. It sounds an awful lot like you're about to justify the fact that God says that rape victims should marry their rapists.
Oh no, I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying that it was
I don't care
possibly
about back
more
then
normal.
because morals aren't relative to time, right?
Well, okay. You're saying it's
Well,
wrong, then God's not all
possibly
good
is.
because God gave a law that was evil.
Well, I mean, I also feel like the Bible is a very symbolic book. So
Then why are you
maybe
taking the
it's
gay
fine.
stuff literally?
What was that?
Then why would you take the gay stuff literally?
What gay stuff? I'm just saying
Can you
that
tell me who's speaking in First Romans?
who is speaking in First Romans?
Yep,
Jesus.
wrong. Can you tell me who's speaking in Leviticus?
Those are no, I couldn't actually.
Can you tell me who's speaking in First Corinthians?
I couldn't. No.
You haven't read the Bible, have you?
Not really. I just get a lot of my beliefs because I grew up in a Catholic school and on my religion classes, I guess.
Don't you think you should reflect on these beliefs like a bit harder before you decide that we shouldn't, as a society, accept certain people?
No, I don't actually. I don't actually know.
You know that you should critically think about the things that you believe so that you can make sure you're
No.
worshiping a just God. I'll give you an example, right? You're like, let's say you've never read this book in your life. You have
Right,
no
yeah.
idea the God that you worship because you've never read the book. You don't know what kind of character, what character he has because you don't, like I said, you haven't read it. So why would you worship a God or a religion when you don't even know what it says?
I do actually, like I said,
You
all
couldn't
the
name me what
religion
first.
classes.
We are both atheists, and I guarantee you, we could tell you majority about the Bible, and you couldn't.
Well, because I'm pretty sure you guys read the Bible in order to
But
do
you're a
these debates
Christian. Why are
against
atheists
stuff.
reading the Bible to you? Like, shouldn't you reflect on that one?
Well, I mean, I took, like I said, I took religion classes. It was never part of the curriculum to read the Bible. I just got a lot of my ideas from the classes I took. My view on God isn't going to change. Sadly, like I said, it was the way I was raised.
Well, that's fine.
It's the values
But
that I
then,
have.
but then just
And
don't accept there's a way to interpret the Bible that's pro-gay. Like, if you want to, you can read these verses and come to the conclusion that's what's being spoken about here is not like a moral condemnation of being gay. It's not saying that you're like a bad person if you're gay. It's saying that you're, I don't know, perhaps like a bad Jewish person if you're gay in the Old Testament, that these are more of like, I don't know, group rules rather than strict moral standards. And then in like the New Testament, the words that Paul uses, by the way, the person speaking in Romans and Corinthians is Paul, not Jesus. The word that
Right.
Paul uses to condemn gay people is the same word that he uses to condemn people with long hair. He says that it's like shameful. You can say that it's like shameful, but not wrong. Like there are ways to come away with the interpretation that it's not condemned in the Bible if you so choose. You can be a Christian and also accept gay people.
Yeah, also,
Right.
like, if we look into sex omens at that time period, plus the sexual ethics that were in the Bible, we can come away that it's patriarchal, and you shouldn't hold to the sexual ethics of the Bible anyways, right? And then on top of what Ian just said, like, it was wrong already in that time period for, like, a woman to top a man. So if they had these strict gender roles during sex, and men were the active sexual agents, and women were the active sexual objects, we don't hold to that anymore because women aren't sexual objects, right? So that's why you need context, you need
No, they
understanding,
are.
history. Women are sexual objects?
If you're off the app, I can't hear you. I think you should go ahead and clarify that one.
How exactly?
No,
Do you
so
think-
women are
wait,
sexual
never mind,
objects?
never mind. I completely misunderstood the question. Never mind. No,
I don't
not
think
at
you
all.
did. Why don't you
Not at
double
all,
down,
not at
buddy?
all.
Stand
No, not
stand
at
10
all.
toes down, bro.
Okay.
Don't be a baby and run away. You said that women are sexual objects. Say it again.
No, they're not. Actually, no, not at all.
Okay.
So,
Mm.
well, but yeah, I mean,
Look, I'm
you
not gonna
disagree
lie,
with
Caleb.
that. The Bible says that, and you disagree with that.
Well, of course, I can't agree with all aspects of the Bible.
Then, if you're just going to
So
pick
my
and
point-
choose,
my
then why
point-
not choose to accept gay people?
I couldn't tell you. I mean, my values, like I mentioned, the way I was raised.
Do you think that being raised in a specific way means that you should keep on believing that thing, even if you've been given evidence to the contrary?
No, not at all. But it's gonna be very hard to turn someone away from those beliefs. Like, I mean, you guys can try to, turn me away from those beliefs as much as you want.
You want to believe in true
But,
things?
For the most part, yeah. But I mean, for example, I believe in God. I really couldn't tell you if he's true or not. I
Okay.
I have my faith in him.
To your best
right,
of
I'm not
ability, would you
fixing
like to believe in true things?
Sure. Look, we're just gonna have to agree to disagree.
Jesus
I
Why?
guess
Why
we'll-
would we? Why not? Why? I feel like
because I feel like you guys are trying to kind of turn me away from this.
you already
religious
said that you
view.
pick and choose. Just choose differently. If you're just gonna, if you're
Okay, you
already
know
going
what?
to pick and choose between what you like about the Bible and what you don't like about the Bible, then surely you can just pick and choose the things that aren't anti-gay.
You also don't know anything but being gay is bad in the Bible. Probably in your 10 Commandments, and that's probably it. You couldn't name me probably the first 5 books of the Bible. You can't tell me who was speaking in Romans, which I named all the verses you could reference to being saying something like being gay is wrong. That's why I was
Right.
saying
Well,
First
you know,
Romans,
you-
First Corinthians, Leviticus. Those would be things that people typically bring up when they talk about like being gay is wrong in the Bible. But you didn't know them.
Yeah. Right. Well, I'll concede this argument. I apologize.
That's okay. Well,
You
hey,
know.
thanks for coming up. I'm moving on to the next one. That was a bit ruder than I wanted it to be, but I do need to move on. Davey, thanks so much, or Davey from the Navy, thanks so much for the super chat. Hi, Ian. This is totally off topic, and I'll have to watch the VOD later to hear your answer. But I was curious if you heard Joe Schmidt's response to the modal collapse argument you give for necessitarianism. What are your thoughts? It's a great question. Joe Schmidt, modal collapse.
Modal.
Let's see. Is there just like a I don't know. Is there I'm trying to find, does he say why they fail? Let me pull up the paper. Joe Schmidt, The Fruitful Death of Modal Collapse Arguments. Damn, where the heck? I'm so sorry. This is like a derail. I'm going to fill papers. Let me find. But it's $50, so I appreciate the $50. Okay, I don't know why it wasn't coming up when I just search it. Sure, okay. The fruitful death of modal collapse arguments. Modal collapse arguments are all the rage in certain philosophical circles as of late. The arguments purport to show that classical theism entails the absurdly fatalistic conclusion that everything exists necessarily. My first aim in this paper is bold: to put an end to action-based modal collapse arguments against classical theism. To accomplish this, I first articulate the simple modal collapse argument and then characterize and defend Thomas Wesky's criticism thereof. Second, I critically examine Mullen's new modal collapse argument formulated in response to the aforementioned criticism. I argue that Mullen's new argument does not succeed. Third, I critically examine a powers-based modal collapse argument against classical theism that has received much less attention in literature. Fourth, I show why God's being purely actual as well as being identical to each of God's acts simply cannot entail modal collapse given indeterministic causation. This, I take it, signals the death of modal collapse arguments, but not all hope is lost. For proponents of modal collapse arguments, for the death is a fruitful one insofar as it paves the way for new inquiry. At least two new potential problems for classical theism, showing this is my paper's second aim. Okay, so what do I take it from this? So I'm only reading the thesis or the abstract. I think Thomas Wetsky's criticism of it is either that it's invalid or he's the one that gives like the external account of God's actions. First of all, I think if God's actions or God's will are external to him, then I think that this is like gibberish. I think that this falls victim to the easy questions like if God chose not to create, would his will still exist? Which the answer seems like it has to be yes. Additionally, I think it certainly seems like the aloneness argument still kicks in, that you can still run like a modal collapse to the effect of like God has knowledge of the world given like different contingent actions that he could have taken. Like God has the knowledge of what the world would have been like given something like, I don't know, God doesn't create and God exists alone. But, that's contingent. So that means because God's identical to that piece of knowledge, that means that God's contingent, which means that you have to give up the necessity. So I don't know. It doesn't seem like that resolves that. But anyway, I appreciate the $50 super chat. That's fucking incredible. Let's get a big W from Davey from the Navy. Serial Dude, thanks so much for the super chat. 1/3 of kids in the US are raised by a single parent. If one mom can do it, I'm sure the kid will survive having a second loving mother. True. That's a good point. Yeah, absolutely. Davey from the Navy, thanks so much for the super chat. He basically rejects that there is such thing as a BCCF for context. Either way, love your content. Keep up the great work. Oh, then he's talking about modal collapse arguments with respect to the contingency argument. I know it's applicable there, but I thought that the main way that modal collapse gets discussed with respect to like simplicity in classical theism is the argument that divine simplicity, which is the doctrine that God doesn't have parts, that he's entirely simple, that his existence is just identical to his essence, and his essence is just identical to like his substance, that it also means that all of his attributes are just identical to each other. So, they want to say that God has free will, so God's act of creation is contingent. God could have created, God could have not created, but then because God's existence is identical to his act, you would conclude that God's existence is contingent. So you arrive at the conclusion that God is both necessary and contingent. But I don't know. I'm not sure how the BCCF factors in that. Draconic Drist, thanks so much for the super chat. By this caller's logic, straight couples shouldn't have kids because there's a chance of bullying resulting from a deadbeat dad. True. Or maybe, the straight parents are going to raise them weird. Or like dress them weird and they'll get clowned on for dressing unfashionably. Mary Andrew, thanks so much for the super chat. Blaming your ill morals on your upbringing seems like a cop-out and a poor justification. If you're a grown adult, do better, caller. True. Well, let's go on to the very next guest. Hey, how's it going?
Hello. Happy Pride.
Wait, what happened to AG? Oh, no. Well, hey, thanks so much. Yeah, how old are you?
22.
And do you think there's something wrong with being gay?
Yeah, I do. And just on like that last caller's point, I would definitely agree that I think fat people or fat couples definitely shouldn't have kids. And I think it would definitely like directly impact the lives of other people.
It seems
If
kind of
you're
strange.
raising kids that have health issues, that's negatively going to affect people through like taxpayer money out of the fact that you're essentially giving them bad habits on the way
Mm.
that they're living.
Sure. So would you consider the
so,
fact
yeah.
that gay couples on average contribute more in terms of taxes because they, make more in terms of their careers that they focus on because more often they don't have kids? Do you think that that's like a reason why everyone should be gay? The fact that it makes you more likely to contribute to taxes?
No, I was just specifically
Okay,
talking
yeah,
about that
right.
one point.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, it's a double standard, sure. So you don't actually care about that. Yeah, but I mean,
Wait,
why
no,
why is
I'm just making a separate point.
yeah,
Anyway,
why
do
is
you
being gay wrong?
yeah, do you think masturbation's wrong?
Not inherently. There are ways to do it that are wrong, but not inherently.
Oh, okay. And when you say there's nothing wrong with being gay, what are you defining as wrong?
Yeah, so I take wrong to be like a categorical imperative. So we have two kinds of like ought statements that we can make. You can make the statement that somebody ought not do something irregardless of their ends, their like goals. We call that like the categorical imperative. And then there are like hypothetical imperatives, which are like, if you want to achieve this goal, then you ought not do this thing. So for example, if you want to achieve the goal of graduating from college, then you ought not skip your classes. So wrongness refers to the categorical imperative, the thing that we all have a reason to do no matter who you are. So do you have a reason?
Okay, can a gay person not be gay?
Hmm?
Can a gay person like not be gay?
No, I mean, that
You
seems
say
like a
like can a gay
contradiction.
person like can they? You're saying like you
A
ought
gay
not do
person is
something.
necessarily gay via the law of identity.
Exactly. So
Like,
why are you bringing in what they ought and ought not do?
yeah,
if it's
specifically
out of their
we're
choice?
talking about
They don't have a choice in what they
gay
ought do because their
actions.
sexuality. Can you let me finish, please?
Presumably,
like, I
you
was
want to
just-
say
I
that they
was
do have a
just saying-
choice.
Wait, so you're saying you have a choice to be gay or not?
No, you have a choice as to whether or not you act on it. That's kind of what the conversation is like, do they have a reason to act on gay stuff or not act on gay stuff?
Okay, so your position is now there's nothing wrong with acting gay?
Sure. I
doing
mean, that
gay
one's like
stuff?
way more. I mean, if you want like the trivial position, if you want to say that there's something wrong with being gay, then you're more than welcome to defend the impossible topic.
Wait.
Where
Okay, so
insofar as
hold
a gay
on.
person doesn't
Okay.
have the choice to do that or
Okay,
to not do that, they have no control over whether or not
Right.
they can be gay
Yeah, I
because
got
it's
you.
who
I got
they
you on
are
that
as a
bit.
person. So wait, I'm sorry. If
Okay.
that's the topic that you'd prefer, then yeah, go ahead and give the justification. Why is it wrong to be gay?
No. I never said that.
Okay,
so earlier you
wait.
said
So
that
do you think that there's
masturbation-
something wrong
Can
with
you let
being
me
gay?
continue?
Just answer the question.
Oh
Do you think
my
there's something
God.
wrong with it?
So okay, like first
That was
of all,
yes
I
or no
need to
question,
respond
by
to.
the way.
First of all, I want to respond
Is
to
there
what you said.
something
Then
wrong
I'll
with
answer your
being
question.
gay? Yes or no?
I'm trying to figure out what you mean by there's nothing wrong with being gay.
Yeah,
and from
I'm
what
saying
you
that there's
just
not a
said-
reason to not
Okay,
engage in like
you're
gay
clearly
behaviors.
overspeaking me. Can we have a dialogue here? Because you're not
Okay.
allowing me to speak, and I'm being very respectful and allowing you to speak and clarify what you mean by
Okay.
the words on your screen. Okay.
All right.
So earlier you said, can I like respond to what you said, please?
Which thing?
Like the entirety of what you did when you were explaining what you meant by wrong with being gay.
Yes.
Can I respond to that?
Yes.
Because I want to argue against that position.
With the definition of wrong?
No, oh my God, bro. I've already explained that you've already shifted your argument from there is nothing wrong with being gay to there is nothing wrong with acting gay.
That's what I
Do
mean
you
when I say
understand?
being gay. There's nothing wrong with taking gay actions because ethics typically operates at the level of the action.
Oh, okay. Would you say that masturbation's a gay action?
Not necessarily. It's not intrinsically gay.
Okay, would you say that gay sex is a gay action?
Yeah.
Can you do gay sex wrong?
Yeah, there are ways
I've
to
just
like have
debunked your
gay
entire
sex.
argument. I've
Whoa,
just debunked your
sorry.
entire
Whoa,
argument.
sorry. What
So-
we're trying to demonstrate is the categorical imperative. There are ways to do anything in ways that are wrong. The claim is whether or not it's always wrong. It's the general claim that gay actions are wrong.
No, because
in
you're saying
general.
there's nothing wrong. You said there's
Yes,
nothing.
with being gay
Yeah,
in general. In the
So
same
if I
way,
point out
you might want to say
something
that
that's
there's
wrong with a
like
gay
nothing
action, then
wrong
it
with
completely
brushing your
debunks you.
teeth, but you can make something wrong with brushing your teeth. you know, if you
Yes, so as
brush
soon
your
as I
teeth
provide
with
you
like
with
the
an
bones
example,
of your murder victims, that would probably be wrong. But I think that it still
right.
makes sense to say that there's nothing wrong with brushing your teeth.
Yeah, so as soon as I give you an example of an action of what you believe to be acting gay that is wrong, then that would debunk your
So you would
categorical
say that
claim.
there is
There's
something wrong
nothing
with
wrong with
brushing your
it.
teeth? Wait, would you make the claim that there's nothing wrong with brushing your teeth?
No, because I wouldn't define wrong in the same way that you've done.
Wait,
No,
you
because
you
the thing
wouldn't
is, you're
say that
defining
there's
it in a weird
nothing
way.
wrong.
You're
So there
shifting.
is something wrong with brushing your teeth?
No, because the
Holy
thing
shit,
is,
dude, that's
you've
brutal.
no. Let me
Spawn
respond.
killed.
Let me respond.
Is there
You're strawmanning
something
me.
wrong
You're
with
not
brushing
letting
your
me.
teeth? Yes or no?
Okay, can you let me respond?
Yeah, go for it.
You've already defined what wrong is when I asked you originally to shift from being gay to acting in a gay way, right? To doing a gay
Which,
act,
to
right?
clarify, is the thing that I've always been talking about this entire time. Now, is the answer yes or no to my question?
Yeah, so if we use your definition of being,
He's not going to answer
that
the question.
yeah, no, that can't apply. That can't apply to using a toothbrush because it's not the same word. You're not being in that example, right? So
Okay,
it's
is the
a
answer yes or
false
no, though, is
analogy.
the question?
It's a false analogy.
Is
I'll
the
answer your question.
answer
Is there anything
yes
wrong?
or
No.
no? Is there
No, but
anything
it's a
wrong
false
with...
analogy.
Oh, okay, sure. So there's nothing wrong with brushing your teeth, even though there is a way to brush your teeth that would be wrong.
No, because the thing is, I'm not defining it in the same way that you
So
are.
let's break down what happened here so we can demonstrate to you the false standard and like the silly
Okay.
position that you've committed yourself to. So you want to hold both of them, that being gay is wrong because
No, I never
there
said
is
that.
some way. You don't think being gay is wrong?
No, because you haven't
Oh,
defined.
okay, sure. Then you can see the topic. Thanks for playing. That was easy. Well, make sure you're double tapping on that screen sharing with your friends, doing all that good stuff. If you're in that guest request box, make sure that you're 18 or older. Make sure that you think that there is something wrong with being gay. And with that, we will read some supers. Davey from the Navy, thanks so much for the super chat. Sorry for derailing the stream. Happy Pride. You didn't derail the stream. Thanks so much for the super chat. I appreciate that. Also, big W. The super chat. I appreciate you. Thanks so much. Hey, how's it going?
Oh, good.
Yep. How old are you?
18.
Yeah. What year were you born?
2007.
Sure. Do you think there's something wrong with being gay?
Well, I think that being gay is offensive to God.
Okay. Which one?
What do you mean, which one?
Which God?
God, our Savior, Father of Jesus Christ.
Okay. But also Jesus Christ, right? Like both of them are God?
Well, God is his Father and Jesus Christ is Jesus Christ.
God is, but is Jesus God?
Okay. Stop trying to change the subject.
Well, wait, I just want to, because I think that you might be a bit confused about your own religion.
I'm not confused.
Do you think Jesus is God?
I'm not trying to argue about religion. Well, sort of,
You
but
just
not.
brought God up.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying that it's offensive to God.
Yeah, and I'm telling you that your religion is incoherent.
Okay, but we're talking about gay people.
Yeah, and you brought up your religion, so your religion is going to get
never
truth tested
mentioned-
now. If
You're
you
just
saying
changing the
that
subject.
it's wrong to be gay is contingent on whether or not your religion is true, then actually it's directly in line with the subject to discuss whether or not your religion is in fact true.
Okay, can we just get back on topic?
Yeah, this is on topic. You said that it's wrong
No,
because
it's
it's
not.
offensive to God.
Yeah, and you asked which one. You know
Yeah.
which one I'm talking about.
Yeah, there are multiple religions. I don't know if you're aware of
Okay,
that.
the Catholic Church, God.
Okay. Well,
Okay,
that
so-
one's like the silliest.
Okay, wait, it's fine with what you believe in. Okay.
Mhm. Yeah.
But can we get back on topic?
Yeah. Okay. If you think that asking like why your religion is true or like asking for clarifications on your religion when you said that the reason why it's wrong to be gay is your religion is a pivot, then I guess we can back up one step. Why does it being offensive to God mean that gay people have a reason to not engage in gay activities?
Because at the end, everyone's gonna get judged by him.
Yeah. What if they don't care? Why would it be wrong
just-
then?
it doesn't matter if they don't care or not. We're all gonna get judged.
Yeah. What reason do they have to care about that?
That they're gonna get judged when we all
Yeah.
die.
Let's say that they don't care that they're going to get judged when they die. What
Okay, but
reason do
they
they
are
then have to
they are
not
gonna get
engage in
judged.
gay activities?
They are gonna get judged eventually.
Yeah, but let's say they don't care about that. What reason would they then have to not be
Well,
gay?
it's not that they don't care. Like
I'm
they
asking, what
are.
if they don't care? Do they have any reason at all?
Well, I'm telling you, it's not if they don't care, they are gonna get
Yeah.
judged.
Yeah, let's say that they know that and they don't care. What then?
Well, I mean, what can you do about it? Eventually, the judgment is gonna happen.
Do they have any reason at all if they don't care?
Like I said, and they're all gonna get judged at the end.
Yeah,
So
but they don't care about that. So do they have any reason
okay,
at
well,
all
I already
to
said you
not be
you
gay?
can't do anything about it. It's not like God's gonna come down and kill them, right? But no.
I just want to know, like, what reason would a gay person have to not be gay if they don't care that God is going to judge them?
Well, I'm like I already answered your question. Like if they don't care.
Yeah, you're saying that they're going to get judged, but I'm saying that that's not necessarily reason giving unless they make it one of their goals to not get judged or to get judged favorably.
Well, I mean, they
So
can't
if
choose.
they're
They can't
yeah,
choose
yeah,
they
if
can't choose to
unless
get
their
judged
goal
or
is
not.
to get
They are
judged
gonna get
favorably,
judged.
then they have no reason to not be gay. So let's say that they know that they're going to get judged, but they don't care that they're going to get judged.
Well, I mean, I
What
already
reason would they
answered
then
you.
have to not be gay? Would they have any reason at all?
Well, I mean, no, but eventually they
Oh
are.
no, sure. Then your ethics aren't objective because they're
Well, I mean, it's
not
like
necessarily reason giving.
okay. Let's just get back on topic. The thing
Yeah, that
I
was the
want-
topic. In order for
No, that
something to be
was not.
wrong, everyone would need a reason to do that.
Repeat the statement you just said.
In order for something to be wrong, it would give everyone a reason to not do it. But you just said that there are some people that don't necessarily have a reason to not be gay, which means that being gay can't be intrinsically wrong. It's just subjectively wrong.
I mean, I don't know. Okay, look. So what I wanted to say is that it's offensive to God.
Yeah,
It's
I heard you.
clearly spoken in Romans 1 through 24, 29, that homosexuality is wrong and to be avoided.
Yeah, but who cares about that? The Bible is silly.
The Bible is not silly.
It says that you can own slaves.
Okay, I mean, we all
Is that
got.
silly? Do you think that that's like a serious moral standard?
Well, I mean, now it's like.
If somebody told me that their ethics included the right to own slaves, I would think that their ethics are pretty silly. Not very
the Bible is
serious.
silly, man. I think the Bible is one of the most important books. Or if not, it is the most important book.
I think Goodnight Moon is a very important book. I don't think it follows from that Goodnight Moon is true.
I mean, I don't know what to tell you.
Okay. Do you think that slavery is morally perfect like it says in the Bible?
Not exactly, but I don't have to agree with some stuff that are in there.
Oh, sure. If you're just going to pick and choose, if it all comes down to cherry picking, then why not just cherry pick away from the anti-gay stuff?
I mean, because I can do what I want. Like,
Yeah, I know you can do what you want. You're just being logically inconsistent.
I'm not.
Yes, you are. You're choosing
wait,
to
okay, wait,
reject
wait,
gay
okay.
people for no reason.
Can you say where slavery, where
Yeah.
the Bible says slavery,
Yeah.
right?
Leviticus 25, 44 through 46,
mind
Exodus
if I switch it
21,
up real quick?
7, Exodus 21, 20 through 21.
Do you mind if I switch it up?
Yeah, go for it. I'll read it to you.
All right.
Leviticus
what was the
25,
verse?
44 through 46.
Leviticus 45
Leviticus 25,
or 25 through what?
44 through 46. As for the male and female slaves whom you may have, it is from the nations around you that you may acquire male and female slaves.
Who you may have. May.
Yes. Yeah. Do you think it's permissible to own slaves?
Back then, yeah.
Okay. So you do think, so if I took you in a time machine back then, you would think that it's fine for you to own slaves?
I mean, it was a normal thing back then. Like, it's wrong for me to say it was normal, but
So is marrying your
it's
cousin.
the truth.
Yeah, I mean, I agree that it was like normal in like a statistical sense that the majority of the population were doing it. I don't think that the majority of a population doing something means that it's okay. I think that the majority of a population could be engaging in abhorrent behaviors, and that would still be wrong, even though it's the majority.
Well, yeah, but like what can like back then, what could you really do about it? Like, couldn't really do
God could
much
have
about
given
it.
laws that didn't include this. Like God legislated this into existence.
I just have to say something else. I agree with the guy before, not the guy before this, the guy before that guy.
That you're just raised this way, so it's not your fault.
Sort of.
Take
Yeah.
personal responsibility for the things that you believe.
I believe what I believe in.
I know
And
that you believe in what you believe in, but your beliefs are harmful. You
Well, yeah,
know,
but
statistically, they're
what that guy,
false, as
what
has
that
been
guy would,
demonstrated. Take responsibility, take ownership, have agency, and change your beliefs. You said that you're already picking and choosing to accept some
okay,
things and reject other
what's
things.
wrong about cherry picking though? Like
Yeah,
you
the
said,
reason why it's wrong is because it's logically inconsistent. It's arbitrary. You pick
how
things
is
for
it,
no reason
how is it inconsistent?
because you're picking and choosing with regards to some things, but not with regards to others.
So
You're choosing to think that being gay is wrong, but you're
I
also
never said it was
choosing to think
wrong.
that
I never said it was wrong.
I could have sworn that I asked you at the start of the conversation, is there something wrong with being gay?
I said
And
I
you said
think
that it
being
offended
gay.
God. It's wrong because it
Yeah,
offends God.
I never said it was wrong. I said I think being gay offends God.
Yeah.
I never said it was. Never said it
So
was
when I
wrong.
asked you why is it wrong to be gay, you didn't say because it offends God?
No, because I started the conversation.
Okay, let me you could totally be right. I guess let me just go back and watch the replay really quick.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Because I think I started the
You
conversation.
could totally be right. Yeah, one sec. Let me
Mhm.
actually in line and tell
I think that being gay is offensive to teens.
hey, how's it going?
Oh, good.
Yep, how old are you?
18.
Yeah. What year were you born?
2007.
Sure. Do you think there's something wrong with being gay?
Well, I think that being gay is offensive to God.
Okay. Sure. So you were just like not answering the question in the start, or
Well, I mean,
typically when somebody asks you,
I had my own statement. to say.
typically when somebody asks you, do you think this thing is wrong? And then you say it's offensive to
mean-
God, who you think is like
Yeah.
the standard of goodness. Like typically, I think most people would interpret that as meaning that you do think there's something wrong. But okay. I mean, if you're just going to concede the topic like the last guy conceded the topic, then I guess I'm just moving on to the next one. Make sure you're double tapping on that screen, sharing it with your friends, doing all that good stuff. Evil Az, thanks so much for the 5 gifted tier 1 subscriptions to the community. Appreciate you. Oh, there's our Twitch subscriptions. I appreciate it. Atheist in a Foxhole, thanks so much for the super chat. Brent might argue dental care is wrong. True. Teamy Ty, thanks so much for the super chat. I'm watching this on my new 12-inch CRT TV. Also, the movie Mad God is really great. Starts with Leviticus verse and illustrates the cruelty of it. That's 12 inches, I think. Not 12 feet. I don't know. Which one's the 2 marks? Is 2 marks inches or feet? God damn, it's been so long. Oh, inches. Yeah, sure. Okay. I was like, okay, that's either like on the smaller end or like insanely big. Hey, how's it going?
It's going all right. Got some free time.
Yeah, how old are you?
27.
Do you think there's something wrong with being gay?
Well, if we want to get into the evolutionary aspect of it, if there is an imperative towards the survival and reproduction of a species, then how could there not be? Statistically speaking. I'm not saying it's going to be the same in every person.
Yeah. I don't think that there's like 2 things to say about this. First of all, being gay likely does contribute to the survival and reproduction of humans as a species. Because think about it like this: when you have children, for the first like long branch of time for your child, like the first like 13 to 18 years or something, your child is just contributing like nothing. They're taking resources, they're taking food, they're not doing hardly any work. And like the work that they are doing, I mean, think about yourself when you were 13, you were like half-assing chores and whatnot. um, Kids don't contribute very much to society, and that's fine. Because after they consume enough resources, they eventually start to contribute resources. So let's say that your society is doing really well and having a lot of children. It becomes more and more likely, the more children that a mother has, that subsequent children will be gay. I think it's the single strongest factor for predicting whether or not you'll be gay, is whether or not your mother has birthed sons already.
So
It
there is a
grows like,
lower ratio of first children that are gay than any other.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's precisely what I'm talking about.
Like, is there a
Sure. Yeah. The chance or the odds.
like, the first thing I'm going to be asking about is sample size.
Sure. Has mother a gay child is increases depending on the
And
number.
that also
of
kind of ties
sons.
into the statistics side of it as well. Like I
Yep.
said,
Okay, sure. So this study finds that, so the study is fraternal birth order effect on sexual orientation, and it finds that the probability of somebody being gay, that for each older biological brother, the probability that that child will be gay increases by 28 to 33%. And do you want the sample size? Like, what sample size would be enough for this for you?
it would probably be on the order of fucking, I'd say about 10,000.
Oh, what a
like
fortunate coincidence.
10,000 over how many countries?
Totaling over 10,000. This startling phenomena was confirmed in multiple studies based on independent populations, totaling over 10,000.
Independent populations.
Yep. So there
Which
you go.
ones?
It fits your criteria.
Which ones? Because if we do that, we could just go to the Philippines and study a bunch of difference in the Philippines and say there's a huge amount of people that are born with female genitalia.
But why would we want to do that
drop.
when we're being intellectually honest with each other?
Because
you asked what
that's
sample
what I'm
size would be
saying.
sufficient, and you said
Independent-
10,000. So then we go and we look, and
independent,
it's
what are
10,000.
those
So
areas, because if they're all clustered in one
the
area, then
the
it's probably the
goalposts
genetic
are
trait
like
specifically to that
flying by
area.
us. You know that evolution doesn't work that quickly, right?
The goalpost
Evolution
right now is just
works over the
ascertaining the
course
validity
of
of
like
the sample.
hundreds of thousands of years to millions of years to billions of years.
I'm just ascertaining
Humans
the validity of the
diverged
sample.
probably like, I don't know, like 50,000 to like 10,000-ish years ago.
10,000 was the minimum for a global study. And I know it's a meta study. There's a good chance it is. So are the countries well dispersed like that, or is it surprisingly regional?
We can certainly check if you'd like.
Because
yeah, let me go ahead and find that for you. If it is, well, let's just get clear about our standard here. If it is like diverse, are you going to accept the study?
oh, absolutely, absolutely. I'm interested in the genetics of it, right? Like if it's specific to a race, like it would be really interesting to see how this is actually weighted across the board.
Yeah, so it's a meta-analysis of 14 studies, it seems.
Oh, that's a little small.
14 studies totaling 10,000 subjects.
Yeah.
Can you do me a favor and tell me the name of one single study on literally any topic? Just the name of one. I think you're being a bit disingenuous, so name a study.
Dude, The
Name-
UK gang reports alone have
The
250,000. That's just one country.
UK gang reports. You think the
You're
UK gang
you're trying
reports
to
is a
take
study?
10,000 without
Is that a
establishing
study?
how
You
many
think that that's a
countries it is
study?
and saying that sets the rate for the global population.
We certainly could, but also because this is due to genetic factors,
Like, I'm just
yeah,
wanting to pin
like
down,
obviously.
because like what are the demographics? Like, there's should be some plots, lines of best fit for different graphs that give
By the way, you
details
for sure
on-
don't hold the standard for anything. This is super intellectually dishonest, but nevertheless, I'll do this for you.
I'm not what? I'm literally asking you for the standard, dude.
Yeah, but you would never hold this standard for literally any other study ever, to be
I
clear.
do.
Okay, then name one study.
That's called bad faith argumentation.
Wait, sorry,
It's
name a
actually an
study
ad
then.
hominem.
Do you want to go ahead
I'm
and?
done with you.
Oh, okay. You're running. You got
I'm not
your
running.
brain's
You
rhetorically blown
proven
out,
you are.
and now you're like
You
sprinting away
literally
at top
just ad
speed. I
hominem
mean, that's
me,
fair
bro.
enough,
You
right?
ad hominem
It's
me
not.
out of
Whoa, it's
nowhere.
not an ad
Why
hominem.
did you ad hominem
Whoa,
me?
it's not an ad
Why
hominem.
did you ad- yeah, it's an attack on my character.
Whoa, calm down there, mouth breather. That's not an ad hominem. It's an
Liar.
insult.
You're a liar.
You're crashing the fuck out, freaking the
You're
fuck
a
out. It's really
liar.
gonna be okay. Just dial it
Dude.
down, dipshit. Lock back in. It's seriously going to be
Project
fine.
harder,
I
dude.
asked you for a single
You're being
study, and
so
all you could
disingenuous
cite me
right now.
was one single study that doesn't
All I
even fit
did-
your own
All I
criteria.
did was
It
ask you to
doesn't even fit your own
validate the
criteria. You're a
information in your
hypocrite.
study, and you're trying to deflect to what about your
Yeah,
character?
and
What have
and
you
you
done
won't
to prove
accept a
who?
meta-analysis
What the fuck is
of
that kind of an
over
argument? Did anyone
10,000
ask for any of that?
subjects.
Did I make any claims? Did I
Yeah,
even
you
make
said that you
fucking
wouldn't.
claims?
Well, yes, you did. You made several
What?
claims. You said that you wouldn't accept the study if it only comes from like one country, despite the fact that that's not
a
how
claim.
genetics
That's a
works.
standard. I
You
didn't
said
claim
that
the
you
study was
wouldn't
wrong.
accept the study if it was below 10,000 participants,
Guy.
which fortunately this one is, barely. But yeah, I guess we could look at locations.
Like, you don't want to explore the actual study. You want to say the study validates your conclusion.
Okay, if you want, we can go through the countries. Let me see where the 14 studies are that it cites.
What do you mean, Adam? It's not a critique. I don't even. Like, what
Who are
the
you talking
fuck?
to?
The chat. He's
Okay.
saying this is a shit critique. I haven't gotten a
is.
chance to critique it. You're
It is
literally trying to
based
hide the information
so
before it
true.
starts.
So true. Yeah, it is like it's basically running.
I would literally spend an hour looking at the study if I could pull it up on my phone without dropping TikTok.
Several others. Okay, I
Like,
guess we'll just go
it's-
through and read it.
I can, but I'd have to drop the TikTok and then come back.
Oh, okay. Wait, is it this one? Infant populations over. A meta-analysis indicated that. Yep. Okay, so it's this one. This one's the meta-analysis from 14 samples representing 10,143 male subjects. Shows that homosexuality in human males is predicted by a higher number of older brothers, but not by a higher number of older sisters, younger brothers, or younger sisters. This relation. Blah, 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 blah. I just want the name of the studies. Okay, traditional biological theories of sexual orientation posit causal roles in inherited genes. Because they have predicted various research findings of the past dozen years and plausibly explained by other facts. Wonder, is this one of the ones? Okay. Because they predict various research findings, those who explain to others fact. The fraternal birth order effect is the finding based on epidemiological data that older brothers increase the odds of homosexuality in later born males. The only biological explanation of this effect that has been seriously proposed so far is the hypothesis that it reflects progressive immunization of some mothers to male-specific antigens by each succeeding male fetus, and the concomitantly increasing effects of anti-male antibodies, blah, 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 the basic epidemiological data and various evidence bearing on the immunological interpretation of them, previously been reviewed by the present writer, Blanchard. Okay, let's go there. summarizes none of them ever provided a complete overview of the topic as it stands today. The following article is okay. In the previous review, the basic findings instead of reviewing individual studies one at a time, the writers meta-analyses produce the core studies. Table 1. Yeah, bring me table 1. Where the fuck do I find table 1 here? Where the fuck? I guess I'll drop this one in my live chat. If anybody can find table 1 for me. I have no idea where it is. Okay. Where would it be? If I was table 1, where the fuck would I be? Content.
And this is all supposed to prove that homosexuality has an evolutionary advantage, right?
Yes, correct.
Like good faith. I'm not trying to distract you or anything, but
Yeah. Okay.
because it could be like something happens in the womb after the first pregnancy with the male that the mother is putting in different stuff to the baby and it just develops different, or it could be an actual genetic thing.
Well, yeah,
No,
but
it
why
could
would
be
that? Why
genetic.
would a
It's
trait
not
like that be
being-
selected for? Is the question.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. So
Yeah. So
evolutionarily,
if we can demonstrate
it's
that, then
not
it would be
fitting the
selected for.
imperative. It would be wrong.
Sure. So would you be if we demonstrated this, you'd agree then that it was selected for the fact that this happens?
Well, my first preemptive argument before we actually get into it would be that if you're trying to say that the homosexuality increases the survival of the group as a whole, then that would mean that the existence itself was wrong and their destruction is what ensures the survival of the group.
Wait,
right?
what? That's like
No.
crazy. That's like
No,
psychotic.
that's an argument I've heard before, right?
That
I've
would be
heard the
insane. That would be
argument.
an insane thing to say. Why
I've
the
heard
fuck would it ever do
argument
that?
Being gay is beneficial because it sort of curbs the population growth. And to me,
Yeah.
that's like a what in the George Soros.
No, not quite. What it means is that gay people are contributing resources so that your children are more likely to survive. That gay people contributing to the society that they live in gives your children a leg up because there are these extra resources that aren't being consumed by a wider number of children. Instead, there are fewer children consuming the resources, which is really good because each human child is a big investment.
Okay. So it takes a village to raise a child,
Kind of, yeah.
but we need more children than we do adults to sustain the population because children die.
Yeah, that's true. Yep. So this is why this only
They don't
happens
consume
with
as much.
subsequent
It's-
sons. So when you have subsequent sons, they become increasingly more likely to be gay over time.
But I feel like the more sons you have, the more likely one is to be gay, no matter what, anyways, right?
Wait, sorry, what?
The more sons you have, the more one is likely to be gay, anyways. That's just statistics.
No, they become increasingly more likely, more so than they would normally.
Yeah, that's the Monty Hall problem.
No, it's not. What? What the,
first
fuck are
one
you
wasn't
talking
gay.
about?
There's a chance it will be gay.
The chance
eventually one will be gay.
increases is the point.
Yeah, because the first one wasn't gay. That doesn't stop the first one
This
from
is
being
what
gay.
this actually is. I think it's the gambler's fallacy. The
Yeah,
the
it
idea
could
that, you know,
fall
it
in
like
line with
hasn't
that.
like you
50-50
haven't
chance
won
every time, but-
you haven't won in so many in a row, which increases the likelihood that the next one will be a win. Like that's actually called the gambler's fallacy. What this is
But
saying is that
I'm
there's an
working off of
increased
an
likelihood
established rate,
that you're
right?
going to
There's an
be gay if you
established
have
rate of
biological
homosexuals.
brothers that were born to the same mother.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is like we have an established rate. It's guaranteed in this population. So many are going to be born homosexual.
Okay, wait. So I found the large scale
The
description. So I have
overlap between the
American
number
volunteer.
of
Wait,
gays
wait,
and the number of
wait,
firstborn
wait.
is
I'm
going
so
to be
sorry.
smaller
Wait,
than the
wait. I'm so
Yeah,
sorry.
'cause
Wait,
you
let's go
have
through.
fewer
Wait. I'm
firstborn.
so sorry. Wait, I'm so sorry. How many countries would you require in order to come to like a conclusion?
I'd really say more continents. Like if you could get one on each continent, that would be.
You want one from Antarctica? Is that correct?
Yeah, no, obviously not. Not
Okay,
Antarctica.
sure. So not all the continents, right? So which continents do you want? You don't know the
I just want
continents,
a good
do you?
spread.
You don't even
I
know the
just want a
continents.
good
It
spread.
seems.
It's not very specific.
Wait, do you know what
Okay?
continents
All the
there are? Do you
continents
know?
would be good.
Do you know how many continents there are?
What? Why are you asking me when you are the one with the information?
You
It is
want a
either
standard
good
that you don't even
spread or
know.
not. You're not providing anything.
You don't even know what you're asking for.
Are they all in? Are they all in fucking Europe or something?
Nope.
Okay, then what are they? It
Okay,
sounds
wait,
like
but
it's
let's
pretty
set,
good
let's
so
set clear
far.
standards so you don't like slither away. How many continents would they need to be from?
There's probably three.
3. Okay.
It's really about the demographics because there's different cultures too. You know.
Okay, sure.
It's
So far I have this one's from okay, let's go through the table. Keep in mind this isn't even all of them. This is just like a spread from one study. Okay, so we got America, Canada, British and America, Canada, Netherlands.
sex offenders. Jesus Christ. Okay, are you
These,
sure
like,
it's
the
not wrong?
children.
Are you sure it's not wrong? Sex offenders against pedophilic. Jesus Christ.
Wait, what?
No wonder you
Which
didn't want to
ones?
bring that shit up.
Sorry, where? Against pedophilic?
American sex offenders against pubescent. American sex offenders against. What the fuck?
Isn't this their children? I thought it was wait, sorry.
Your
Okay, so
study,
in the birth
You're
order.
the one saying that you read it.
Yeah. But this is specifically talking about birth order. Oh shit, did you have to move the goalpost once again?
I read
The
the fucking thing you
goalpost-
put on the screen,
Yeah.
and it
Wait,
doesn't.
sorry, do you think
we were
that
talking
do you think
about,
that
and then
changes
you
something
pulled up
about like the
something.
fact of whether or not they're gay?
I don't see how it supports your position.
You're
that
not
the
sure how
fact
data
that
supports the
firstborn
position?
children are less likely to be gay somehow makes it
That's what the studies say.
a biological
Wait,
imperative.
would you be interested in like a doctor coming up and explaining this to you?
Hello.
Yeah.
Hello.
You wanted to talk about like the birth order?
Yeah. So the fraternal birth order effect. I cut in, or I
Yep.
started viewing not too long ago. But it sounds like you were just trying to say that it's been replicated across like tons of countries, across like various continents.
Yeah. So I asked him, so I said, there's this study, and he was like, well, the first thing I'm going to ask about is the sample size. So we had him state what sample size would be acceptable to him. He gave an insane answer to that question. He was like 10,000. 10,000 is the bare minimum. I pull up the study. It is 10,000. And then he's like, okay, well, did they come from like a wide variety of countries?
Gotcha. So the interesting thing about this, Alex, is that not only has it been replicated, but they've actually looked into the mechanism behind it. And there are, a few potential mechanisms, but there's one that seems to be, kind of a clear favorite or clear contender. and that is that, and it explains why it's specifically the sons, like successive sons of any given mother, and it's that when a mother, a female, has male fetuses inside of her, she's exposed to some of these male fetal antigens. So
That's what I was
these
saying.
like markers on these male fetuses, and it happens at a slow rate, but over time she develops antibodies to the antigens on these male fetuses, and these antigens, they don't invoke enough of an immune response to harm the fetus in any appreciable way, but they are able to affect fetal development. And obviously this is like a very complex mechanism, so like I can't tell you exactly how it affects the development, but it seems clear that it does. And so as she has successive male children, she develops more and more of these antibodies against these male antigens, these male fetal antigens. And as she develops more of these antibodies, they have a stronger and stronger effect on the development of these successive male fetuses, which end up being successive sons, to the point that as you get to the third, fourth, fifth, sixth son, the chances of them ending up being gay increases significantly because of the effect of these maternal antibodies. So there's a pretty clear mechanism for it, and they've identified the antibodies and the antigen. I don't know the exact names off the top of my head, but there's a clear mechanism for it.
I was just wanting to make sure it wasn't like some cultural influence and a weirdly weighted data set. Thank you.
Yeah, no worries.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but there's like an evolutionary explanation for it, because your kids will take makes you less likely to have kids. So you won't have kids that are taking up the resources. So let's say that you have let's say nobody was straight and everybody had like tons and tons of kids and there was no limit. Let's say there was nothing that implemented the fact that if you have more kids, that it's like more likely that your kids won't have kids. In that sense, from like a population standpoint, it kind of like stems the probability that you'll become like overpopulated, which guarantees that there's going to be like a higher standard of resources availability for the kids that exist there.
So how does that make sense if we need more kids than adults?
Because it really starts to kick in when you're having too many kids. When you have kids already, that's when it becomes increasingly likely. So when you start out and you haven't had kids yet, it's very likely that your first child will be straight, and then it becomes increasingly less likely over time, but not substantially less likely, just like slightly less likely over time that your subsequent children will be straight, so that by the time where it's statistically probable that you have a gay child, you already have like more than the replacement rate.
But what makes that good towards the imperative if the imperative is to reproduce?
No, you said it earlier. Now you've changed it. What gets selected for is the things that allow the population as a whole to survive and reproduce, like the continuation of the population as a whole. Your genetics are still passed on by your siblings, which is why those genes get selected for.
Okay, but that still doesn't make sense as to why, if they are capable producers, their genes wouldn't be passed on.
Wait, sorry, what? Their genes are passed on through their siblings. They share genes with their siblings, and those genes get passed on.
But what's better about their siblings' genes than theirs?
Their siblings are straight, which is why it's more likely for their straight siblings to pass down their genetics than their gay siblings.
I didn't say. Look.
Wait. Okay. Think about it like this: which group of children is going to get more resources? The group where you have tons and tons of children, or the group where you have like a good amount of children but not tons and tons? Which one is going to be able to dedicate more resources per child?
The rate of reproduction is limited by the females.
Do you think that answers the question at all? Do you think that even like tried to answer the question?
Because
yeah,
homosexual males don't affect the birth.
Sorry. What question did I just ask you?
which group has a better survival rate? The
No,
one with
that's not what I
fewer
asked
children?
you. One
You
step at a
did.
time. No, what I asked you specifically is which one is going to be able to dedicate more resources to the children? The one where
That's not
there's
what you asked.
that is what I asked. I can hit the
You asked
replay if
which
you'd like.
one has a better survival rate, the one with more resources dedicated to children,
What
or
I
the
asked
one
you
with
is
a
which
moderate
one
amount of
has
resources
wait,
dedicated
sorry,
to a
the
lot
one
of
that
kids.
what I asked you is which one's able to dedicate more resources. So what's the answer to that
Yeah, and that's a
question?
non
Which
sequitur.
one's able to then answer the question?
But
Which
that's a non
which
sequitur.
one's able to whoa, it's not a non sequitur.
Okay.
It's
Okay,
first of all,
I'll
it's not
answer
even
the
an argument
question.
at this point, so it can't be a
The
non
group
sequitur.
with the
Non
more
sequitur is a
children is
property
more
of
likely to
arguments.
survive.
Which one has a higher ability to dedicate more resources per child?
The one with the one with the highest rate of resource extraction to children. That
We're
means
saying
more
that the
resources,
resource
less children.
extraction rate is fixed.
I can agree with that. The
So
group
given that the
has
resource
fewer children with the same resources as a different group has a relatively more individual amount of resources to give to each child. Sure.
yeah, and under what circumstance does childhood development go better when the child is raised with more resources or less?
Well, that depends upon because no,
You're
I
so
legit. There are
dishonest, dude.
studies.
You are
No, there are
so
studies done on this.
dishonest, dude.
There are studies done on this. They took
You
a bunch of rats, they put them in a
name
city,
one.
they gave the rats all the food they needed. The
Wait,
rats
sorry,
wound
name
up
one.
cannibalizing themselves like 2 years into the study, a year and a half.
Wait, sorry. What's the
They
name of
had
the study?
everything they needed.
Wait, sorry. What's the name of the study?
Fuck,
Also, what's the
you got me there.
what's the
It
sample
was
size of the rats, and from what continents were the rats from?
they had a specific number for the rats. They were tracking the reproduction
Yeah,
rate and
yeah. But
everything.
like, what continents
It
are the
was-
rats
it's crazy.
from? I just want to make
But-
sure that it wasn't something cultural.
No, you got me. You got me. I brought up a study. I was prepared to bring up every little detail of it, and you have every right to. Yeah, but
Was it at least 10,000 rats? We can look up the study, but is it at least 10,000 rats?
I mean, if you would, because
Yeah.
it is actually an interesting study. If you
Rats
actually are being genuine,
put into a city, cannibalize each other.
rat utopia.
Well, Ian's looking that up. I think it's just a pretty intuitive argument, to be honest. Like, I missed a little bit because I was looking at a couple things myself. But, like, if you imagine that, like human children require 20 units of resources for like, optimal development, 15 for, as like
But
as
it's
like an
non
absolute
sequitur.
baseline, and then 10 if they get like less than 15, then they'll, or like less than 10, then they'll, unalive, right? And
But that's
you
a
live in a
non
society where
sequitur.
each parent or like each kind of pair of parents is producing 20 resources, and their kid takes 20 resources or something like that. Then you find yourself in a society where maybe they're producing 15,
To
and
me,
each child
it sounds
would
like
really
the
benefit from 20.
mechanism.
Give me a second, right? So now you have the parents not being able to provide an adequate number of resources for their children to consume, right? And
I
then there's another
understand where you're
society, a
getting
parallel
at
society,
with how
that's
resources
very
affect,
similar. It'd be great if you didn't
but
talk
that
over me, man.
argument
That's very
doesn't
similar,
follow
but
from
they
what we've
have
been
some
arguing.
homosexual adults as well who aren't contributing children but are contributing resources. And so now the children in that society, it's the same number of children. The children in that society are getting an adequate number of resources versus the children in the first society, they're kind of under-resourced, right? Well, you could say, okay, well, wouldn't it be better if they just had more children, right?
But the rate
And
of
those homosexual
reproduction isn't
parents had
limited
children
by the male
themselves?
population. The rate of
What?
reproduction is limited by the female population. There being more gay men would not affect how many children there are.
What? Of course it would. Huh?
No.
What are
Do
you
know how
talking
roosters
about?
work? Like why do you think there would be multiple wives? What?
Wait, sorry. Do you understand, like, a lot of humans are monogamous. They mate for life.
There's so many non sequiturs. the birth rate is limited by the female population. Can
Wait,
you
sorry.
prove other than that?
Wait, sorry. Do you agree that most humans are going to be monogamous?
Why are you answering my question with another question?
Yeah, we can disprove that because if people are going to be mating for life with somebody, then it's a question of how many pairs that you make.
Is that all you got? Could you elaborate? How does that affect evolution?
We don't
How
live
does
in like
that
a
affect statistical survival rates?
we don't live in a
lost.
bee-like society where there's like one, male that produces sperm and then a bunch of, females that get impregnated by this one male, and it's, the number of males is inconsequential, and you just have
why is
this whole
homosexuality
breeding
a
harem,
benefit?
right? That's like not how it works. What Ian's saying is that there are like the way humans, create civilizations and have children reproduce is by creating pairs, and these pairs
It's especially damning
match up
because
and have
it's
children.
specifically the male population that's gay by this.
Do you want to even like attempt to engage with the counter argument, or do you just want to like grandstand?
You haven't given a counter argument. You've
Can you
given non
summarize the
sequiturs.
argument that we just made?
Yeah, you're saying that there are social benefits to monogamy
No.
and genetic
That's not the
diversity
specific claim.
in monogamy.
No. The claim is just that the one and only factor
It's
that limits
bad for one
population growth
person to have
isn't
multiple
the number of
partners if they're
female
the only
people
person
there.
reproducing,
It's going
because
to
it
also
limits the
come down
gene
to
pool.
various factors at the point in time when humans are not just constantly impregnating. Like people are not just constantly getting pregnant on repeat by like whoever. It's not going to be the only factor.
Yeah, but what does that have to do with the birth rate being limited by the female population and
It's
the male
limited by a lot
population
of
becoming
things.
gay after subsequent births?
The fact that
not
humans are
affecting that birth rate.
monogamous limits it in a separate way, which is that it's a
That's
question.
not a fact.
Well, that is
That's
a
a
fact.
tradition.
Wait, sorry.
Some humans are monogamous, but like you're trying to.
Do you think it's wrong to be monogamous? Brutal.
I'm just waiting on you to tell me how.
Do you want to answer the question? Do you think it's wrong to be monogamous?
How is the male homosexuality population affecting the birth rates?
Wait, sorry. Do you think it's wrong to be monogamous?
My guy, you've asked me 3 different questions trying to dodge
It's
this
one question. We've already answered that
3 different
question.
questions.
We tried to explain this to you in like
Coward.
ooga booga terms. Well, I just don't think I'd be calling anyone a coward at the point in time when you dodged the question 3 times in a row, and now all you can do is do like your
That's
like
a
actually
suitable
like
name for you.
horrible
Single
sounding
syllable,
fake laugh.
like thud or ugh.
Is what it practically sounded like. It sounded like you were fucking gagging on something. I can only imagine what. Do you want to answer the question?
After you. How does the
think that
male
it's-
homosexuality population affect the
you
birth
think-
rates in order to create a lower
Yeah, because there are
child
fewer
population
pairs
to
that
improve
end up
the resource
forming in the
rate?
first place.
But humans don't reproduce exclusively through monogamy.
Yes, but some of them
Okay,
do.
you're having
yes,
to
correct.
do
But
a
some of
lot
them
of
do.
hedging here.
Correct. As insofar as there are any at all that do it, it's going to limit the population.
But how does that mean that homosexuals then decrease the birth rate?
Holy shit,
Homosexual
dude.
men.
Holy shit. Yeah, because if any human forms a monogamous pair, then necessarily it's not going to, and it's reproductive, granted that it's reproductive, it's not going to be with a gay person. This gay
So
person is
you're
going to be
trying to
somebody
set
that
the
doesn't
situation
form
to
a
where a
pair.
female
So it's
doesn't
a
find a partner.
guarantee that this gay person is not going to have
that
a
female
child
doesn't
of their
have a male
own.
partner because the male partner is gay.
Yes. Also, there are,
That's not
gay
how
women.
it works. Just because, yeah, I know. And the fact that the gay women are not affected by this evolutionary mechanism
There could be a
means
different
that-
evolutionary mechanism, but what gets guaranteed from this is that
I
it becomes
know, but
increasingly
your
more
argument
likely
is on
that
this
as you
one.
have,
He
whoa,
pulled up
wait,
non
sorry.
sequiturs.
Oh, he wants to grandstand with the word that he still doesn't know the meaning of.
Non sequitur, it
Yeah,
means
what do you
your
think a non
argument does not
sequitur is?
logically follow from what you were previously talking about.
Wait, sorry,
How does it
and
logically
wait, so
follow
what you
if
called
the birth rate
non
is
sequitur
determined
earlier
by
was
the
a question.
female
You said that there was like a
population,
question that I
that there
asked you that
being
was a
a
non
high
sequitur. Do you think
population of
questions are
homosexual?
arguments? Do you think questions have conclusions?
An argument is a digression in opinions, right? Do you
Goat. This
agree with
dude's the
that?
fucking goat. No,
Do
of
you
course
agree with
not.
that?
No, an argument is a set of premises and a conclusion.
Are you going with formal argumentations or are you going by the actual definition?
With formal argumentation, yeah. I take an argument to be something like a claim and a warrant, a
If
thing
we
to
were going by
believe, the
formal
conclusion and
argumentation,
reasons to believe it, the
then you would
premises.
have addressed my point directly about the female population
Yeah, I've
rates.
addressed it multiple times, but because you got
No,
completely
you
spawn
didn't,
killed on this topic,
because you
you're
kept
actually
deflecting
incapable of
to
engaging with it.
no, you kept deflecting
Yeah,
to females cannot have partners.
if humans form monogamous pairs, then it's guaranteed that there is going to
If
not be one of
big
those
if
with, you know, that a lot of humans form monogamous pairs, like a lot of humans mate for life.
a lot, sure, but show me how
Oh, yeah.
the gay population affects the birth rate.
Okay, yeah. Apparently, we are largely serial monogamists. So apparently the majority of humans, even present in like, before I make that claim, let me look it up. Yeah, humans, even in like hunter-gatherer societies, humans practice serial monogamy. So when people are with someone, even in hunter-gatherer societies, they'll typically only
That's
be
called
with
cherry
one
picking.
person. The data is cherry picking.
Well, have you ever looked at any of the populations that practice polygamy?
Buddy, that would be cherry
It's
picking.
actually
What you
especially
just
popular
said,
in
what
atheist
you
circles,
just said
believe it
is
or not,
unironic
secular
cherry
circles.
picking. It's a statistical question.
It's not, dude. You're trying to say this
You
whole
don't
set of
think it's
data
a
doesn't count. I'm
statistical
looking at both
question?
sets of data. The
When you
monogamy
have to
part
pick
does not
the data set
affect
out,
the birth
then that's
rate.
cherry picking. It's a question of just looking at overall. And I'm picking hunter-gatherer societies because it gives like an indication as to what things might be like,
No,
you
you're
know,
picking out
pre-industrial
societies with
revolution. If you want me to
monogamy.
look up overall, like every society, my point is, I know my point gets proven
I
in that
want you
situation.
to prove that
Yeah.
the birth rates are
Yeah, let's
affected
do
by
it. What
the
percent
male gay
of
population.
humans are monogamous? Yeah. Share the genetic father through. Okay, yeah. It looks to be like 70% of humans are monogamous. So the reason why that limits is because it's guaranteed that there are going to not be monogamous couples that produce children wherein one of those children is gay, or sorry, wherein one of the partners is gay. It's exceedingly unlikely. That's why it gets selected for evolutionarily, is because they can contribute. It when you're already having a lot of kids, it makes it more likely that you're not going to have like overpopulation, which, by the way, the rat study that you cited earlier was about overpopulation. I don't know if you're aware of that. Oh, he ran the fuck away, and who can blame him, right? Oh, he's
Brutal.
back.
Oh,
I didn't run. I was trying to look shit up. I told you.
Okay.
But I couldn't find it, and I figured it would probably just immediately kick me out when I swap screens. So.
Okay. So, where were we? So you agree that the majority of humans engage in like serial monogamy, right? And that if the majority of humans engage in serial monogamy, then that makes something like being gay like a limiting factor on the overall populations?
No, because you practice monogamy for a lifetime. You're only unfaithful once. You can
Okay,
be only
so
unfaithful once.
I think you're a bit confused about this. So serial monogamy does not mean that you only have one partner for your entire life, but what it does mean is that when you have a partner, you're only with one person typically. And I'm speaking about the majority of cases. Of course, there are going to be some people who, while in a monogamous relationship, cheat on their partner. It's still going to be a limiting factor as to whether or not, when you are in a monogamous
So
relationship,
because
the
this
likelihood that
magical
that you'll
word
produce a kid.
monogamy,
Whoa,
all of a
just calm
sudden,
down there, mouth breather. No need
relationships
to get
only
upset.
work in
Just
this
dial
one
it down,
particular
dipshit.
way, which
Don't actually
supports
engage with the
your
argument.
argument through non sequiturs.
Whoa, he still doesn't know what that word means.
It means it doesn't logically follow that
Yeah. So
being
wait, what was my
that you never
conclusion?
address
Wait, sorry, what was
birth
my
rates.
conclusion and what argument did I give for that conclusion? And how does the conclusion not follow from the argument?
So your argument is that the monogamy rates of the monogamy rates, because people choose to stay with a single partner when they're engaging in a relationship, somehow magically means that females have a limited selection in partners.
Well, what it means is
By
that
the
they're
male
going
population.
to stick with this one person, that they're not going to be sleeping with other people typically.
It means that there will always be females who cannot find a partner because there are gay males, is what you're trying to say.
What it guarantees is that these men typically aren't having kids. Makes it way more likely that you don't have
Yeah.
overpopulation.
That doesn't affect the population rates. The
You don't
females
think-
are the ones who
Okay.
limit the population.
Wait, source? Can I get the study that says only
Okay.
women limit the
Men
population?
can impregnate many females
Wait,
at
sorry,
one time.
sorry.
but women
Do you have a
can
study?
only- Oh, I have better than that. I have actual.
He has vibes, dude. He has vibes.
testing.
Yeah, I have way
You-
better than a study.
Go,
I have
go,
vibes.
try and get a few women pregnant within the same 9-month period.
Wait, sorry.
But
and
do
ask
we
those
see that
women
actually happening,
to have
right?
more
That's the
children
question.
than you in that
Like,
same 9-month
No,
period.
dude. Theoretically, that's possible. Theoretically, that
It's
could
not
happen.
theory.
But does that? No. Does that actually happen in real life? Because what Ian has shown you over and over again is that humans are serial monogamists. So it seems that the evidence does not point to men going and impregnating
does a
a
lot of
bunch of
work
women
there.
all at the same time and then them all having kids, right? The evidence doesn't point to that. So it's on you to find some evidence out there that that's happening on a regular basis, such that the women are the rate limiting step in reproduction rather than, kind of the general ability to form pairs, right? Because if it's the general ability to form pairs and some of these people aren't forming reproductive pairs, i.e. people who are homosexual, then
Wasn't
those
China
homosexual
just
individuals
killing a
would
whole
still have an
bunch of
impact
their
on the
girls
reproductive
to
rate.
lower the population rate?
Wait, what?
Wasn't China killing a whole bunch of their children to lower the population rate like a decade ago?
I don't know if they were killing them. They were certainly giving a lot up for adoption.
Yeah, like they were doing a whole, and it was specific about which group because
I mean, by that you mean what?
because they were trying to control their population rates, and they made it.
And wait, which group do you think that
specific
they?
to a sex? Why did
Oh,
they make it
you're so
specific to a
confused, dude.
sex?
This actually sucks for you because my girlfriend's from China and she's actually from like the one child
Is it the
generation.
males?
How would you explain that fact?
Is it the males?
Wait, sorry.
I might be
Wait, how would you
confused.
explain the fact
they-
that my girlfriend is from the one child generation? How would you explain that? Because it's actually up to the parent. Like if you had multiple children, it was actually up to the parent which one you give up.
What do you think I'm trying to say?
Okay, he's not even interested in engaging with it, not even a little bit.
No, it sounds like you're trying to make it sound like I'm trying to say something really bad.
You
about
said that as a matter of
something, but
policy, they gave up women. That's not true. It was up to
it's not
parents
a matter of
individually.
policy.
You're like an idiot,
Like any of
right?
that
You
that
know,
I'm
you just
looking
know
at.
nothing
I'm
about this
saying
topic. You should
they were
probably
trying
pivot
to
away
control
from
their
it.
population. They were
Wait,
trying
I
to
would
control the
highly
population.
recommend that you
That is
pivot
an
away from this
established fact,
because this
right?
sort of selection happened at the level of the individual family. The individual family could keep the daughter. They were more than welcome to.
But what did the Chinese government push for and why?
Getting rid of the girls was not because they were trying to control like the population. It was because of misogyny. It was because it was better for the family.
So
There was
ad
more.
hominem.
there was more like, you know, pride and more honor in
Did
having.
you say it was
you
an
know,
ad hominem? This dude should get.
male
Here's
children.
an actual
Yeah,
ad
it is
hominem. You
because
should
of
get shot.
misogyny. There is no fucking reason at all why they would choose one particular gender
You
over
think
the other.
that's an
except for
ad
the fact that
hominem?
they're
The
fucking
fact that
bad people.
Chinese people systematically chose like the male population
There's a lot
to
of
keep
femicide in
give up
India
like the
too.
women. Like
There's a lot of femicide in India too. It's
I don't
because
think
it's
it
because
was
sons
a
are revered
moral
more so
reason
than
as to
daughters.
why they
That's it.
chose one race or one gender over the other. I think it was a logistical reason why they chose
Oh
one
my
gender
god,
over
no,
the other.
not even close. No, it's pure misogyny. It's because sons are revered more so than daughters. Like sons bring, you know, quote unquote, more honor to a household or to a family than daughters do, right? Sons are honored more highly. It's the exact same in India. There's a huge, you know, problem with femicide in India as well, such that I think in certain parts of India,
So
or
in these
maybe in
two
all of India,
super high
you're not even allowed to
population
know the
areas,
gender of
they
the
revere
child,
sons.
of the you know, fetus, because they don't want them to be like aborting, you know, female fetuses.
Hold up. You
And
gave me
shit
a
like that, right?
beautiful
So
sample size.
it's a misogyny thing. That's it.
You gave me like a 4 billion person sample size between China and India. And 4 billion is a bit much, but
it's
you got the two highest population countries that are both saying men are sacred. And why is that if they're overpopulated? Why wouldn't they be saying men should be gay?
because they're fucking misogynistic.
But
Idiot.
evolutionarily, like, are you trying to say that the behaviors override the statistics on the evolution on this?
Wait, sorry. We're talking about a specific society. These specific societies
talking about
preferred the men over the
stabilizing the
women.
population.
You are just so confused.
We're talking about stabilizing population. You want to be talking about misogyny and hating on women and all that. I'm talking about stabilizing populations purely. You want to turn it into some fucking sexist whatever. I'm talking about stabilizing populations.
Okay, wait. So, yeah, you lied earlier. When you said that the government encouraged them to keep the sons over the daughters, what's your source for that?
Dude. Dude.
Brutal, dude. I fucking knew it. I fucking knew it. You're a liar through and through. You're a bullshitter. I see right through you.
I'm recalling something I saw.
Wait,
on the
wait,
fucking
cite the
internet 10 years
dipshit.
ago,
Hey,
and I made that clear
dipshit.
from
Hey,
the beginning.
mouth breather. Cite the source. Go for it.
The source was fucking Facebook 10 years ago.
That's the sound of you choking on my rhetorical dick, by the way. That was an ad hom, if you wanted to call that one out.
No, it wasn't. An ad hominem means you're wrong because you're stupid.
You are
You're
wrong
just
because
fucking
you're stupid. Okay, do you want to go ahead and concede that point?
Was it a real event?
Yeah, the one-child policy happened. The government didn't encourage you to keep sons over daughters. That was a family decision.
God, I fucking hate not being able to back out.
There's still time. You can always run.
Like you did from... Oh
Can't
my
even name
God.
a person.
Can't even name a person. You can't explain how the
Wait, sorry, who did I run from? Wait, go ahead and
homosexual
concede that.
population
Wait,
affects
go ahead and concede that point. Who did I run from?
me.
Yeah,
You're fucking
when?
running from the same question over and
When?
over and over. How does
I've
the
answered the
male
question.
gay
I'm running
population
into you,
affect
frankly.
birth
I'm like
rate?
running over
Because
you.
women can't have partners?
I threw my car into drive
That's a
and we're
non-sequitur.
fucking running right over you.
No, you're fucking sitting still. You have sat still and been like,
I
oh,
can
hey,
give
look
you
over
the
there,
answer.
look
I
over
can throw
there,
the
look
car
over
into
there, look over
reverse
there,
and
look
then
over
back
there.
up over you. I can explain the same thing that I've already said to you.
You need gas if you're gonna go anywhere.
Yeah, I've been cooking this
ain't got
entire
shit.
time.
All you've got is women can't have more than one partners. Ergo, there's limited
That
population rate due to the male population.
statistically, the majority of women only have one partner, which means
You
that one
mean
of the limiting
magically.
factors is going
You
to be
mean
the number of
fucking
pairs
magically,
that
dude.
form. It's just a statistical fact, bud. Sorry.
Yeah, it's a fucking biological fact that the birth rate is limited by the female population, not by the gay male population.
Wait, sorry. If the majority of humans form monogamous pairs, is one of the limiting factors going to be the number of pairs that form?
No, because you said majority.
No! You said no!
You said majority.
You just said, wait, if the majority of people form monogamous pairs, you don't think that one of the limiting factors of the population, wait, so let's say 99% of the population formed monogamous pairs. You're saying that this would not come down to the number of pairs that formed?
Yes.
Oh, sure. So then you do agree that if the majority of people form monogamous pairs, then you do agree that if the majority of people form monogamous pairs, that it's just going to follow from that that the number of pairs actually does matter. You would agree?
Because it's statistically monogamous. Okay, statistically monogamous.
Yeah.
Most of the time, that women can't have multiple partners and have multiple children through multiple partners.
Can't. It's that statistically they don't.
Statistically, again.
Yeah.
My guy.
So the number of partners, the number of partner pairs that form is going to be a limiting factor there. That's like trivial.
How?
Yes, because okay. Imagine we have two scenarios. One where every single time
only have one partner.
Yeah, let me give you the scenario. Let's say every single time that a woman gives birth, she has sex with some guy, doesn't need to be the same one as last time, versus one who is with one guy and only one guy for
That's not what
her
you
entire
said
life. Which one is going to have more children?
You said that
Wait,
kind of
answer the
monogamy we're talking
question.
about is
Whoa,
they only
scumbag,
engage
answer the
in one
question.
relationship at a
Just answer-
time.
Whoa, wait,
Serial
sorry, stop
monogamy.
running, stop sprinting
You
away.
said,
Answer the
I'm
question.
not. You're the one who changed.
Wait, you're sprinting.
You're the one who changed
Holy
the
fuck,
semantics
dude.
on it.
Oh no.
You said that it was serial monogamy.
Wait, sorry, do you want to just answer the
That
question?
means that she only has
Wait,
one
sorry, do you
relationship
just want
at
to
a
answer the
time.
question?
You admit
Wait,
that she
sorry,
can have multiple
wait, sorry,
children by different
wait,
partners while
sorry,
maintaining the
wait,
serial monogamous
wait,
lifestyle.
sorry, wait, sorry. Which one? Wait, do you want to answer the question?
Repeat the question.
Yeah. The question, which one is going to have more children? Which one's more likely to have more children? A woman who has sex every single time immediately after she gives birth with some guy, doesn't need to be the same guy, but just with some guy, or a woman who's in like a strict monogamous pair and will only have sex with this one guy, and there's some chance that he might not be able to impregnate her anymore, or like just won't want to. Like, which one's gonna?
Does the type of relationship affect the individual's birth rate?
Wait, sorry. Do you want to answer the question?
Does the type of relationship
okay, he still doesn't want to answer the question.
Birth rate?
Wait,
No,
I'm so
if
sorry.
a woman
Do you want
is
to
in a
go ahead?
monogamous relationship,
Wait, sorry. Do you want to go ahead
she
and
going to
answer
have
the
fewer
question?
children or children less
Yeah,
often
it's more likely that
than
you'll have
someone
fewer
who's not?
children if you're in a strictly monogamous relationship, correct?
Prove it.
Yeah, sure. Just based on like, in terms of like a hunter-gatherer society based on like probability, in the scenario that I gave earlier, there's going to be a strict decrease because there's going to be a 100% chance of getting pregnant after each instance in that scenario that I just laid out, as opposed to if you grant like a non 100% probability chance, then that would just like mathematically follow.
So
that
then
it
where
would
do all
be
the gay
like
people
strictly
come from?
contained.
If
Oh shit, you're like
married
short-circuiting.
people are having, if married people are having fewer children, where do all the gay people
Oh
come
shit,
from?
dude, you're like short-circuiting. That's too bad. I already explained this to you. It's evolutionarily
My
selected
guy,
for.
you tried to twist up the way relationships
Wait.
work to make it to where
Hey,
it's
bud.
impossible.
Hey, bud. If it
for
wasn't evolutionarily
anything
advantageous,
except for homosexuality
wait, if it
to
wasn't
control the
evolutionarily
population rate,
advantageous, then
then
why would it
that's
get selected
hilarious.
for? Do you want to answer the question? Have I slammed you so hard that you're
What?
concussed? You don't even know what the question is?
Because it's not a selection.
Wait, what question did I just ask?
Because if it's evolutionary, why does it select for it? If it's not
Yeah,
evolutionarily
if it's not
advantageous, why does it
evolutionarily
select for it?
advantageous, then why would it be selected for? What's your answer?
My guess is that it would have to do with the ratio of reproducing males to
I'm gonna kill
reproducing
you.
females.
I'm gonna kill you with my gun. I'm gonna shoot you. I hate you. That's literally what I've been telling you this entire time. I'm gonna kill you. Okay. All right. Let's read some supers. Big Joseph, thanks so much for the super chat. In reference to a debate earlier in the stream, I don't think one needs to be black to speak on mixed race couple issues. Caller was an idiot, though. That's true. I probably agree with that. Oh, wait. Also, Molly, we should probably clip that one. We should clip that one and just make sure that you cut out the time where I'm like looking for the study. Thank you, bot. Thanks so much for the super chat. Thanks so much for the gifted tier 1, or I'm stupid. Rob Biebert, thanks so much for the gifted tier 1 subscription. Appreciate you. Lindsay Clear, thanks so much for the super chat. You said irregardless in the stream again. I fear it's become a habit. Fuck, it's not fair. It's not fair. It's not fair. Cold-blooded, thanks so much for the gifted cool Corey membership. I appreciate you. Dr. Fudge, thanks so much for the super chat. While listening to this conversation, my air conditioner fell out the window and crushed my neighbor's hostess. Can I get some ribs in chat for the hostess? Also, it's Alexander's fault. So real, King. What isn't Alexander's fault? That dude like shot Archduke Franz Ferdinand. God, I hate that guy. All right, we're doing our reading group. If you want to learn about ethics, we're reading Rosalind Hursthaus's On Virtue Ethics. We'll learn about like this week we're reading the chapter on resolvable dilemmas. So we're going to learn about the ethics of like killing a person, like that last guest whose stupidity is obviously causing like catastrophic harms to both himself and society. But yeah, it's 8 p.m. EST. I'd love to see all of you there. It's going to be great. It's going to be fantastic. I hope to see all of you there. I'm also going to be on October 10th. I'm going to be in New York with Dr. Blitz and Justin. We'll be live. You can buy tickets on Pangburn, on like the Pangburn website. I think it's probably pangburn.com. But regardless, anyway, I'll see you all later. Have a good one. Oh, wait, sorry. I'm releasing a new video. I'm dropping a new video right now. Let me get the new video out and dropped.
Thanks for having me up, Ian.
Yeah, hey, thanks so much.
Love you.
Yep.
You think they're just going to be like, oh yeah, I'm sorry, like our bad, like, let's just adopt all of your Christian Western ethics and like life will be good. I mean, I don't think that would be a realistic thing that would actually happen if you have the thousands of years of them just like unaliving homosexuals and handicapped people and like Jews. Like,
wait, but you don't have any problem with them killing gay people. Like, what would be your problem with that? It literally says to do that in Leviticus.
Well, that was for a specific time.
But was it absolutely morally correct to do it during that time period to like kill gay people? Hey, how's it going?
Pretty good. How you doing?
Doing well. How old are you? Yep. It's on YouTube. It's titled "Christian Claims Slavery is Rehabilitation." It's live on my channel currently. Go give it a like. Go give it. Go give it some love. Drop some comments. Drop some likes. Drop some. Subscribes. It's allegedly Ian. And then in terms of people that you could go and raid, I bet there's somebody who's live. You got Comrade B is live. She's pretty good. But yeah, my newest YouTube video just dropped. Go give it a like, go give it a subscribe, do all that good stuff. All right. See you all later.